Oh, I got a housekeeping. Let's start the pod right now. Okay? I started a show this weekend, guys. It's called The Patient.
Yeah! Nice.
Fucking
Directed by
what's it
Chris
about?
Long.
it's about a serial killer. Steve Carell's in it. It's pretty good. It's at least pretty good. And I'm hooked. The short episodes, I'm into that.
Yeah, like 21 minutes.
Unlike our podcast.
You got to be able to like slow.
I don't think it's that slow.
Slow
Get
but fast,
slower.
obviously.
Get slower.
It gets
We slow it down.
It gets slower.
Yep.
No Shoes Nation.
That's right. So you've gotten all that?
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
78 shows. His friend's fucking weird. The guy, by the way, this guy's hydrated.
Yeah. How so?
Always pissing.
Right.
Steve Carell's just sitting there. The guy's pissing. If you haven't seen The Patient, go watch it. It's pretty good. It's on Hulu. But these damn ads on Hulu, man. Am I the only one getting ads on Hulu?
No. I'm getting the ads. But
What the fuck is that about? I already paid for Hulu. I don't need a Chevy Silverado.
Back to the Future, I kind of like the minute reset. Like I get up, I brush my teeth,
Maybe make it 30 seconds.
go to the John,
Maybe make it 30 seconds.
get an ice cream.
Hey,
I
Kyle,
don't mind the breaks.
Speaking of the breaks, another reason why you were saying the Bills and the Chiefs underwhelmed you, and we can get into that game in a little bit, but because I assume the scoring.
It underwhelmed me emotionally because it wasn't a cathartic finish for me. Pat didn't get to drive down the field.
Okay.
Patrick.
Patrick didn't get to drive down the field. Right tackle got beat inside, and Patrick was under duress.
I thought you were one of these, I can't watch football games unless it's 54-51 like Rams.
See, he's assuming
Chiefs.
again about
Well, we cleared it up pretty quickly. But most people really are like obsessed with these.
They need a
100-point
shootout,
It's
right?
like the Bama Tennessee game. They're like, oh, this is how football is. No, 24-20 is perfect.
Exactly.
I think 24-20 is a perfect football game.
Romo called it.
A methodical game where two quarterbacks are trying to take what they can get.
Yep.
And use their guys. Like you saw Jet McKinnon featured and shit. That's what the Chiefs have to be about when teams are playing like that. That's what Josh Allen has to do when.
And I can go to the fucking bathroom and take breaks like The Patient
Hulu ad,
because
That's
there's
great.
not two scores happening while I go get a peanut butter sandwich. So
I've been to 19 Kenny Chesney shows, and the serial killer is obsessed with Kenny Chesney in this
it's
show.
funny, dude. And he kind of looks like Macon.
A little bit.
But you look way healthier.
Kenny
than
Chesney's got a
that.
great
Thanks.
show, by the way.
Yeah.
He's got a great show.
So
Thank you.
that's housekeeping. Well, another item in housekeeping. I'll give out my asshole of the week right now to start the show. Let's get the juices flowing here.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Cooper, and we've talked about this before the show, Kyle. You tweeted about this morning. He's the mayor in Nashville. He struck a deal with the Tennessee Titans to build a new dome stadium.
Oh, no.
Dome stadium. It's on the Metro Council now to vote it down. Please, Metro Council, vote this down. At this pace, no outdoor stadiums like 2040, I'm thinking. And the worst part is, like, you could not find a place that grass grows better than fucking Tennessee, dude. Miami or something. But, like, if you want some good, like, solid.
Kentucky's got grass
some
named after it.
fescue. Wait, what are they growing?
Bluegrass.
Now?
Kentucky bluegrass.
You can literally. Well, it's not in Kentucky though.
It's close.
Yeah, it's close. But see, Kentucky's a neighbor.
Yeah.
So they're growing good grass there. Like, what the fuck are we doing? It's like, it's a nice climate. You get a little cold weather. It gets gray in
pick
December.
a better longitude
Bro, like,
or
you can't-
latitude.
And we're putting domes there, dude.
I think you have to really define what a dome is, Chris, because what we've seen now, like you play at the new LA SoFi Stadium, you feel like you're outside. You feel like you're in one of those futuristic soccer stadiums.
Yeah.
You do get the weather. You can smell the salt in the air. I'd imagine Nashville, if you had a retractable situation, not like Jim Irsay's Thunderdome, but I'm talking
that's
about
a
like
dome.
That's a tactical
With the sun.
advantage.
I'm talking about that's a greenhouse, really. I'm talking about a proper retractable dome.
But I don't even want a retractable roof, man. It cheapens the whole experience for
Agreed.
me.
what
Where are
happens
you
if
on-
Garth Brooks is playing and it starts raining?
Oh, make
You
it
can't-
fucking work, Kyle. Up at Gillette, every year they have Kenny Chesney. Every year, it's outside.
Like back-to-back nights.
Like they'll do it, yeah.
Back to back
and
to back.
You know they get the nor'easterns and shit up there.
that was close.
What is it?
Nor'easter.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but it typically happens in the
they come from the
northeast.
northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
they
right.
get those all the time. It's right off the water, and they don't need a fucking dome.
To Kyle's point, where are you on canopies? Like in Miami, we now have a canopy which doesn't cover the playing surface.
Fine,
But most
canopy's
of the
fine.
fans.
Looks like European. Looks like soccer. I think
Gladiator.
that shit's dope. You
Kind
want
of.
to keep the fans dry, especially Dolphins fans,
Is that the only reason, though?
Which is ironic.
because they're robots. They're like the Tuanon people are like robots. You get them wet, they short circuit. So yeah, keep those people dry, dude.
we want to make sure we can play God and control the weather for non-football events. Is that the idea with these domes?
I guess
Yes,
that's the
mega
whole
church. 6 days a week.
Joel Osteen's going to be
Derrick Henry Church of the Rush on Sunday.
Exactly.
Damn it.
And come see Toby Keith Thursday night.
So, anyways,
good b-hole.
Also, 800. Kyle, what was it that you tweeted, Jonathan?
Oh, yeah, Jonathan Jones.
$880 million is what the city's willing to fork over, and $2.2 billion.
Yeah, so the Titans will bring $800 million of the planned $2.2 billion for the doomed stadium to the doomed.
Yeah,
Nice.
Freudian slip is what we call that.
Titans will bring $800 million of the planned $2.2 billion for the dome stadium to the table. Still some work to get it to the finish line. Is Jonathan Jones.
I'm going with
CBS
Doom
Sports.
Stadium, bro, because this stadium fucking sucks.
Thunder Doom.
Okay, I was going to be 2032. I'm going to be goddamn. I don't know how old I'm going to be when this stadium gets built. And I'm going to remember talking about it on this podcast and how much it sucks.
That being said,
it looks beautiful.
Nothing I like better than a rendering.
Oh,
Render me anything. I'll gaze at it for 45 minutes.
That's fucking weak rendering, though. They need to.
A lot of renderings are like the remember when you used to get the video game information packets before they came out, and you'd be like, it'd be like screenshots from in game, and when you finally get the game, you're like, this game sucks.
Cool. Not as cool. Kind of looks like all the other dome stadiums.
Game sucks.
Oh, but it's got this cool feature. You know who's got a cool feature in their stadium? Qatar is hosting the World Cup, right? But they're like very mean to women in that region. The woman who designed the stadium covertly made it look like a vagina, and I think that's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen, dude. Like a little bit.
I've never seen one, but I would imagine that.
Well,
I didn't realize it would be so
there,
big.
like, so this is Al Janoub Stadium, is that right? In Qatar, and in Qatar they're not nice to women, which is a very bad thing, and it's very fucking stupid. But that stadium is not stupid.
Al Janoub, more like
barely
Labia Stadium.
What?
Well,
what
I
I'm
needed
saying
more time.
So shout out to Zada Hazid, who's since deceased, but really dropped a bomb on Qatar.
Beautiful stadium.
Like just fuck you guys. Fuck the patriarchy. I'm all about it. You know. All right. So some guys listening to this are crashing their car. They're so mad I just said that. The patriarchy. Okay. Now,
America's
teams.
You want to start us off?
Sure. It's pretty simple this week.
Because you take the Vols. I might.
It's the Philadelphia Eagles 1.
Double up.
It's the Vols 2. It's the Philadelphia Phillies 3. It's both New York football teams 4 and 5.
Look at that.
I'm not gonna overthink this, dude. Like, right? It's
both teams,
pretty fucking simple. This weekend we put in the group chat, what's the better sports town right now? New York City, parentheses Jets and Giants, or Philly, parentheses Eagles and Phillies. Nate Collins answered C, New York, because of the Buffalo Bills. So I don't know. It's a big,
which is the only of the three teams in New York City.
You pointed out that irony, which is beautiful. So this is a big weekend for the Eastern Seaboard. Bad weekend for the Deep South. The Falcons, of all teams, the only team not to let people in the South down this weekend. You had Bama, obviously, Saturday. You had who else? New Orleans lost on Sunday. You had the Braves lost this weekend at the hand of one of America's teams.
You count them as a South.
And you had Herschel Walker flashing a fucking fake police badge.
Fraudulent.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it was a bad week for the Deep South. Give me those 5 America's teams.
I'll join you with the Tennessee Vols. I'll also add Tulane, the Green Wave. Unlike James Madison, those frauds, they can stay in the top 25. They're in the top 25 at 6-1. They went to South Florida and got a win this weekend. South Florida, fellas, is located in West Central Florida.
I think that's Miami.
It's
that's
Tampa.
Greater Miami.
They're located in Tampa. Isn't that wild? And they're South Florida.
I think it's still Greater Miami.
Yeah, Miami Gardens probably
Why
Miami.
would they call it that?
Miami, isn't it strange?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's Florida, man.
Is it further north than UCF?
Is it further east than what was the city we were doing this with? Detroit.
Great question. That's a great question. Tampa, Florida. See, now I'll take you behind the scenes here. I'm going to go to Tampa on Google, all right? And then I'm going to zoom out.
Yep.
What I do is zoom out. So Tampa is about equal with it's
oh my God,
farther west than Toronto.
So it's west of Detroit because Detroit's right under Toronto. No, Detroit's under Windsor. Sorry.
It's further west of Cincinnati, Cleveland.
Little geography here
Not
for you
Cincinnati,
this morning.
Cleveland.
Okay, keep
terrific.
going.
You know, Kyle, Tulane at 6-1, getting so much recognition. The school plans to expand by 2025, which is cool.
Expand in what regard?
They're becoming 4-lane.
It's on tape. It's on tape, bro.
That was great.
Nice.
It's on tape.
Okay.
Look at his
Expanding in what
face right
regard?
now. He's so fucking happy.
That was good.
was
That's
fun.
his whole week right there.
That
He's
was
so
fun.
fucking happy.
That was
Sell
good
a couple
stuff.
homes
Yeah.
and do a Tulane joke.
Better than a
Okay.
jizz lane joke.
Oh, got you. Okay. Cincinnati Bearcats are my third America's team because
You talking about that petter ass?
on October 4th, I looked up, they got a commitment from Edgerrin son, Jizzle James.
Yes.
Oh, that Jizzle James.
The
I was
number
thinking-
69 overall prospect in the class of 2023 out of Olympia High School in Orlando, Florida. He committed to Cincinnati. You know how they did from North Carolina at
Yeah.
guard, 6'6", Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh to think about from Cincinnati at guard, 6'1", Jizzle James.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty sweet.
Okay. I'm going to add the Cleveland Guardians. And with all due respect to
Jizzle James.
producer Scott, who, well, he loves the Yankees. I mean, what more can you say?
Has a Yankees podcast, has a Yankees hat,
7:07 Yankees.
watches the Yankees.
7:07 first pitch. The Guardians are trotting out somebody called Aaron Savali. He's got a 5 ERA.
Which isn't good. Not
Not
great.
good, Cotton.
Not great.
Not so great. Garrett Cole was great yesterday.
He was.
And the Yankees will probably win because that's what the Yankees do. They win games, they advance in the
I hope
playoffs.
so, because if they win, we're going to New York, right? Saturday night.
This coming Saturday
Yankees
night.
game?
I got Macon a
Yeah.
ticket.
I'll be there. What time?
You know, Macon.
Same time.
I thought moving up here that we were going to be friends. This was it was really in my sights.
Wait, what time?
I've
that's
lived
what-
here
that's
for a
what-
while.
that's
I
why-
will
Your
also
friend
be in New
thing.
York on Saturday night.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle, got you a
Kyle
ticket
be
too.
there? Yeah.
Kyle got
We're
you a
all
ticket.
going to the Yankees
You need a
game.
ticket.
We're all
Scott
gonna
can get you a ticket.
Scott.
Got you a ticket. We're going to sit with the people.
Macon, you
Gonna
need a
sit with the
ticket?
people.
Well, see, that's
Peeps.
why the Guardians really are one of my teams. This would cancel a plan,
Okay,
which
got
is
it.
just the best.
Got it.
Nothing better than a
Would
canceled
you go
plan.
with us, though?
I don't know. Could you talk to my wife?
Oh, absolutely. When do
Okay.
we have to call her?
On the show.
No, we're not going to do that.
Let's just see how tonight
Table
goes.
that. Okay.
Because this Aaron Savali, might just go ham.
So they're America's team.
Knocking
because
on wood.
They can ensure that you don't have to do
Yeah.
something fun.
Right.
I love that.
Right.
And I relate to that.
Scott, I really want you to be happy.
Thank you.
And I don't like the Yankees so much.
I understand that.
And our uniform
Tournament.
tournament really hurt all of the teams we picked to go through.
Did we
Cardinals,
fade everybody?
Dodgers,
Oh, nice.
they were both out early.
Nice.
Jays gone
Great.
in a heartbeat, and the Yanks, the only team of the Final Four remaining. Good luck to your club,
Thank you very much.
Scott.
It's going to be Nestor Cortez, the man of the people, possibly throwing tonight.
And I'll round it out. I'll join you with the JETS. I mean, that's a great story. 27-10. It was a 27-10 ball game.
Yeah.
America's team.
Yep.
New York Jets.
Dominant.
Kyle, you want to go with like the Navy SEALs at 1?
I've got the Team USA soccer team who's got the Olympics coming up.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
true.
even sure if we're in it, but I'm
Yeah.
assuming if you've got a country and we have a country, we're going to be in this thing.
Yeah.
Number 2, Syracuse,
Ugh.
a real football team, and I'm starting to think that there's a conspiracy theory. Me and Matt were talking about this. Feel free to chime
Well,
in.
there
There's-
is probably a conspiracy theory.
there's
It's
so-
probably coming.
There's so many people that are in the media that went to Syracuse, that cover
Oh.
Syracuse. Adam Shine being one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Huge Syracuse homer, like sings them to the highest. You know what I'm saying?
Tarico.
They're all Syracuse guys. That's
Yep.
why they are America's team. That's one of those.
Why can't they better fund the fucking program? Why do they have to back channel an undefeated season? Like, because right now they got Dino Babers and a
it.
bunch of guys that you haven't heard of.
The Giants, number 3, because I like Brian Daboll more than number 4, Robert Saleh and the Jets.
Okay.
But they're also doing well enough to be in my top 5.
That's good.
And I love seeing the Packers lose. Nothing makes me happier than seeing Sauce Gardner.
There's your catharsis.
Wearing, that was great. Seeing Sauce wear the friggin' cheese head at Lambeau. And
Lost in the sauce. Did y'all see that graphic?
I just know how pissed people are. Lost to the sauce.
Lost in the sauce. Like receivers are going to be just lost in the sauce.
Well, they lost to the sauce at that point.
Yep.
Hey, last night he was cheese sauce. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, y'all know that fondue?
And
I got hungry, bro.
And 5 Bills. I got to tip my cap to the Bills, America's team, because the Chiefs have been America's team, really, if you boil it down to it, with the winning and everything, and the Bills kind of just said, not so fast.
I really neglected the Bills this week.
In the daytime, which is like in a daytime game, a primetime daytime game, those are always weird.
No, they're great.
I agree.
If 2 good teams play at 425, like, it's great. If 2 bad teams play at 425, kill me. Cardinals, Seahawks, if that's what was on, and no disrespect to the Seahawks, who might actually be good, kill me.
Well,
If that was it.
we
You know
have
what I mean?
we have to reserve
Nick
one
Bolton,
of the 3.
hit me in the head, Nick Bolton.
One of the 3 primetime games must go to the Denver Broncos. That's in the NFL's
Yeah, it's in the bylaws.
Year,
so they might be one of America's
That's like
teams.
BYU.
Right.
Do they have a good communications
Apparently.
department?
They have the
Major.
Get on
Illuminati
that,
built
Syracuse.
their airport.
Yeah.
Hey, cats, look at my machine.
Mike Tirico built their airport.
Look at this. Look at my machine.
What's going on? Oh, USA, terrible kids.
Let's go. Ooh.
This is what are we
like the
calling it?
blue ones. I
A
don't like
World
the
Cup.
white
I
kids.
really love the badge.
We're looking at
shield.
You like that shield?
I love the shield.
That represents 1, 2, 3,
Colin had
4,
that
5,
jersey.
6, 7. The 7 colonies. There were 7 colonies. Yeah.
Got it. Colin.
All right, so we
You like those blues?
Yeah, I like the blues. Don't like the whites so much.
Okay.
So we got through America's teams.
Good.
That would put us, by the way, one of America's teams, not the Titans. I can guarantee you that. I don't know if we'll be doing this podcast in 2032, but I can guarantee you I'll never make an America's team again if they play indoor.
Wow. Keep freezing cold take right there.
Freezing cold.
Well,
I think they're my new America's team because of the
Nobody's
going to
be freezing cold out there because everybody's too fucking scared of the elements.
when Waylon Long is like a nickel corner on the Titans, they're going to be off your list.
For the reasons of homerism and not being a homer,
Okay.
I'm not going to put them on America's team. By the way, if Waylon Long could do anything, become any football player, I want to be Matt Milano. I almost came home last night, woke him up,
Spygate,
and put NFL Rewind on the laptop and just said, son, watch this guy play football.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to play linebacker, I don't know if they have a conveyor belt that spits out square-jawed white guys that run around and just tackle well up at BC.
Yeah.
But, like, fucking, the torch got passed to Matt Milano. I feel like in the last, we'll get there. I don't want to get.
The pictures are on the wall at the university of all the guys who have come before him.
That guy's insane. Matt Milano is so fucking fun to watch. There's just so many tackles in the league that you can't take for granted. Like out in the flat, on the sideline. He's fucking perfect, dude. Love Matt Milano. How about a little taste of Landon Dickerson coming right down your throat?
Easy there, Chris.
The Chris with no H. Because Chris Collinsworth is sick, bro. He said that last night.
I know. He's a sick fuck.
He knows what he's doing.
And me and Reed were talking about this. I was like, do you think he means to do, like, does he have a plan to do this? And I was like, you know what? He loves connecting with guys that are his son's age that have that sense of humor. And we love this shit. We eat this Landon Dickerson up your throat and stuff up.
Yes. We did. As a nation, we said no thanks collectively. But
the old crowd doesn't hear it. We hear it.
Oh, we hear it. Old crowd does not hear it.
No.
You're right. He might not hear it, which is the point is, like, Chris doesn't hear it.
It's like a children's movie you can watch with your kid and still laugh at
Dad
raunchy
at
jokes.
the fucking dinner table when he used to say things like moist, like the chicken's moist, and we all crack up.
This is some moist meat.
And he'd be like, what? We had to have a code for that's what she said. It was bagel.
Wow.
So, yeah. But
you would say bagel aloud to each other
instead of that's what she said.
and then how would
Dad
go?
would be like, I don't know. A bagel's not for
What
dinner, guys.
again?
Bagel's not for dinner.
What do you guys keep saying bagel for?
Yeah. So the older generation just doesn't get it, dude. So maybe Chris didn't get it, but Philly, Dallas. Okay. The vibes were incredible in that stadium. I didn't bet the Eagles until right up to kickoff, bro. Like, Megan and I were talking about this. Well, that was a lot of points, man. And in fact, I'm a coward, so I bought the fucking points to -4.
Well, almost wicked smart on your part.
It almost was
Nick
wicked
went
smart.
for 2.
It went for 2. I had the Eagles teased with the under. That number was 49. I had Cooper Rush's under completions. Anybody who follows me on Twitter knows that now because I posted a fucking picture every drive. I had a tally mark going. It was at like 2 or 3 for the length of like The Godfather. And then all of a sudden he was Dan Marino in the second half. So like never a doubt for the Eagles with the atmosphere, but for your boy, very scary. And I want to send out a personal thank you to Brandon Graham, who was a great teammate on the field for me, but an even better teammate for your boy as I'm washed up watching on the couch, sweating 3 Eagles-related bets because he hit Cooper Rush last night. And maybe the game changes because of this, but most certainly for so many Americans who had the Eagles on their ticket,
CD was scoring.
he's scoring, bro. And BG, there's no stat for that. The ball flutters out, and it falls into C.J. Gardner-Johnson's hurt-ass hands. He's not catching a ball that's coming in there hot. So, BG, thank you, bro. I love you. Fucking love you, man. My kids appreciate you. I was going to have to come home and wake them up. And instead of Matt Milano tape, we were going to go outside and get shots up because they're going to have to go on scholarship. I had a lot of money on that game. Seriously, dude. I had a lot of money on that game.
It was unreal. I mean, I'm going to give my Bevel Conway to them right away. I'm going to give the Bevel Conway, the Eagles, and the Cowboys because, my God, that was beautiful to watch. In prime time, you get the glimmering of the lights and the helmets, the classic Cowboys uniform, the Eagles. Also, I just love Jalen Hurts. The drive starters from the Eagles, they're on schedule as an offense. They're able to not be in a hurry and still hit explosives when they need it and when they feel the time is right.
How difficult do you think those reads are? That pull, that put it in the belly and pull it back out.
That's something that it becomes second nature. And there was in the low red, there was one on the RPO where Jalen was looking right. Everybody goes right, and it's so simple. It's like you're fooling a 5-year-old with your eyes. I'm looking here, the ball's here, and you can see on that touchdown, look right, free throw over the top, easy. Jalen makes it look easy, and the reason it's so effective is he can run, he can throw, but they're on schedule and they don't have to do anything too crazy. Lane coming out with a concussion.
They got through at least the first half.
The first half was
because that's
gravy.
where you had to get your feet in the ground against that defense and get off to a lead. Which why Sirianni, man, like, and I'm hoping that ticket for fucking Coach of the Year cashes. But Brian Dable out here being so goddamn perfect.
He's good.
I have a top 7 for you.
You got
later.
7?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They made Cooper human in the first half and made him come back down to earth. And credit to him, he did come back out and do a lot better in the second half and in the 2-minute too before the half. But
Well, the big thing is this: it's
suffocated him.
It's Sirianni on up 7-0, I think, and they're in the low red. It's 4th and 4. The quarter's ending, and put yourself in the mind of a Dallas Cowboy defender. You are you're treading water. You're swallowing a little water, like you're trying to get to the edge of the pool. You're waiting for the bell, like if it's boxing, right? The quarter's almost over. Let's just get here. We can regroup, talk about this. You're afraid they're going to go for it because it's Nick Sirianni. It's the Eagles. They run the offense back out. Dallas is flat-footed, so what happens is you're slow, and then you speed up, and you're like, got to get lined up, and that's the way you can get guys offside. So they extend that drive, go up 14-0, and then they're able to play their game. They possess the football for like the whole first half, and they got the ball out. You said 2.5 seconds, less than 2.5 seconds. Jalen Hurts just,
Are there ever big-brained fellas on the D-line saying, hey, they're not going to frickin' snap it?
all the time. But
Do not move.
I can't tell
They
you
say
how hard it is.
D-Joe, and for people at home, D-Joe is D-J-O, don't jump off sides.
Yep.
And that's what D linemen tell each other. And it took me like 5 years to figure out what they were screaming at each other before the play. But D-Joe, Akeem Hicks used to say it all the time, do not jump off sides.
Yeah, and still, there's always somebody because the adrenaline's so high. You're down there in the end zone where you're on defense on the road, so they're not screaming, but it's loud there. Like there's just chaos, bro. Like people are running on the field, they're running off. The quarter's about to end, so you're thinking if they're gonna go. Matt said this when we were sitting up there. I thought it was an interesting point. He was like, I'm thinking, why wouldn't, if they're going to go on 4th and 4, why wouldn't they let the quarter hit so you can, call a play? But, I'm thinking conversely, if you hurry up, you catch them flat-footed. And that's what the defense is thinking too. Like, damn it, they're going to go and they're going to go fast. So they're all charged up. So Sirianni, great job doing that. And then like the whole thing with not blocking Micah Parsons, it was right under our nose. Like, how do you block most feared edge rusher on the field any given Sunday. It's slow him down and make him have to process things. Not that he can't process. He's a brilliant football player. But what Micah Parsons is, and since I've been in the NFL, there's only a handful of guys I could say this about, one of the best instinctive football players I've seen on the defensive side of the football. He's just he's a football machine, dude. Like he makes all the right decisions. But most of those are, intuitive decisions. They're instinct decisions. He obviously has to process, and that defense is more complex than we know. But in a play, when you make a guy stop his feet before he starts them again, widen his base, have to think about A.J. Brown, have to think about a pull play, that sucks. And especially early in the game for a rusher who's going against Lane Johnson, who's going against that group, to not be in a rhythm and not get some shots at a conventional pass rush, that fucks you. He should have been blowing up A.J. Brown coming across the formation because that's legal. We're always coached, if you have a crosser or somebody, whether it's a boot or whatever it is, if you blow up A.J. Brown, that takes away Jalen's primary read and you climb the field and pressure him. You used to get a bunch of sacks or pressures like that on boots because you knock off the crosser.
Who is the dump down guy?
That's the dump down guy. It's the first read. You knock him off and then you climb. And they should have coached him to do that earlier. But Sirianni, great game plan.
I'm glad you brought up Micah having to deal with being responsive to, what was the word you were using? I'm glad you brought up Micah's, the reads he was having to make yesterday.
Yeah, they're not intuitive.
So yesterday the Eagles did a lot of pulling at Micah. They did a lot of bringing guys across the formation where Micah's eyes aren't just trained on the ball now. Yeah. He can't just react as a physical freak. He's got to play that game within the game. What am I going to be expecting pre-snap? And it's what guys like Aaron Donald have come to expect in the game and have prepared for, like wham blocks. We're going to leave the defensive lineman unblocked. Literally, you'll see two offensive linemen split a defensive lineman, like the opposite of a double team, and somebody will come from somewhere else and hit him.
Yep.
Because they'll go, oh my God, I'm unblocked, and then they get blocked. Landon Dickerson hit Micah yesterday so square on a Miles Sanders run, I think, and it was
came right down his throat.
It was exactly what you need to do as an offense when you got a guy like Micah. You got to run at him. You can't run away from him. They'll chase you down.
And you brought up Aaron Donald. Like, you can't run the read play and read Aaron Donald. Like, that's another layer of decision making. The edge guys are going to be more responsible for those things. Like, there are very real implications to Micah not taking the dive or the pitch, or the quarterback, or not taking a guy that he's got to peel on, like a halfback trade in coverage or something. Like, he has to think a lot. And so being an edge guy is fucking hard. It's complicated, more than you know. And so, like giving him all that stuff to think about, slowing him down.
So
I thought was really
have to ask you a question about what you just said.
Yeah.
So, and you got to teach me because I'm an O-lineman.
Yeah.
And if I'm a D-end and there's a running back on my side in shotgun.
Yeah.
And say I'm over the right tackle.
Yep.
And my responsibility is rush unless he swing routes.
Yeah, well, so
right?
A lot of times if there's a blitz, you're gonna be responsible for the peel, that sort of thing, or you might get a peel call before you line up. Like when I was in New England, something like that. That defense is very complex, so you're getting calls right up until the snap. Like you get this long ass complicated call, and then there's a check, and then there's a third check right before you. And that's being an edge rusher.
It's a lot to process.
And I don't know what Dan Quinn's defense is like, but I know that even for defensive ends, a lot of the time, that teams will have rules. So it's not just a base down, like run of the mill. Like, hey, they're running read option at you now. They're making you think. They're making you read A.J. Brown, all types of stuff. Sirianni just threw the kitchen sink at him. And that's really big for a rusher. I used to get so frustrated early in a game if I couldn't get reps in the first and second quarter, because that's when you warm up.
Like a rhythm shooter.
Yeah. I mean, and so they actually survived that first half in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And they got to the second half where, hey, people are going to worry about, Dallas closing the gap, but a lot of that was a couple big drives where the Eagles are playing off a little bit more. I would say this, Meek Mill was in the building. There's got to be a metric for when he's at the game, but it's fucking almost impossible to beat those guys with Meek Mill at the game. Jason Garrett succumbed to the vibes. You hear him before the game? He was like, fly Eagles fly, man. It's irresistible, the vibe, if I can be serious for a moment, in Philly on a night like that. It just gets in your blood, man. It's probably a lot like Chicago on a primetime, evening.
Yeah.
Dr. Jill Biden was in the house.
Joe Biden was in the house.
Jill.
No, I said Jill. I said Jill. I just saw her clapping like Nicole Kidman. Well, he'd correct the sunset.
I got to give a shout out to the Eagles defense, my fantasy defense.
Eagles
and Devontae for having some big catches, a touchdown. It's awesome.
Hey, listen up.
Yeah.
I know Dallas does come back by virtue of on occasion.
Oh, we come back to play.
Turpin, that returner,
Devontae.
Yeah.
is as electric a returner as I've ever seen.
Yeah, they found him in like one of these arena leagues.
He's really good, but Coach McCarthy, dearest Coach McCarthy.
Yeah.
It looks better at the end, but when you're down 14-0,
I knew this was coming.
You got to wait to see if you got the line to gain or not. Just wait. Don't run up to the line. It was clear and obvious that the first down was picked up. You did not need to run that play and give it back to him at the then plus 35, which turned into a Jake Elliott field goal and 17-0. Even though they did climb back in, it felt like the game was over at 17-0.
It's a great point, and I think another thing that we haven't even talked about yet is Dak Prescott, who's sitting there on the sideline. Cooper Rush made some nice throws, but this is the type of thing that plays right in your hand because the Rams are not the team you have to beat. The fucking whoever you beat in the last 5 years, the Bengals are not the team you have to beat. The Eagles are the team you have to beat. And Cooper's not going to be quite enough. Like, not on a night like last night. And the Eagles were not perfect, right? So Dak Prescott gives them hope. Christmas will be different at home. And they have a second half to hang their hat on. But, like a really big win for the Eagles. And
Dalton Schultz, too.
Dalton Schultz.
I think they're different with him healthy.
When he's healthy, they're that's a big element for them as well. And Jalen Hurts, man, we went this whole time not really talking about Jalen Hurts. Like, listen, he did his job last night, and I probably would vote for him for president. Honestly, he's not
old enough.
Well, how many more years?
How old is too old?
Well, 34 is too young.
Imagine I'm being. Go ahead.
The perfect age for a president. My perfect president. 52 years old.
It's a great age.
Thank you.
Not what we've got right now going on.
I said, what's the max?
Not what we've had for.
Okay, not to get political for a second, but you're running again.
Yeah.
Let's get there. Okay.
But don't put the cart before the horse.
So Jalen Hurts, when he turns 42 or whatever, I would trust the fucking guy to launch a missile. I feel like if he launches a missile, it's probably the right decision.
Idris Elba turned down 007 so Jalen Hurts could take it.
Honestly, that's a great take. Jalen
First
Hurts,
American
007.
Bond.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then he could become a former actor president, which is everybody loves that. Jalen Hurts, 2036. Wait, when's he? No, I'm not doing the math right. When's Jalen Hurts eligible to be president, Reed? Figure that out. Okay. Somebody's like
11 years.
You got political.
11-ish years.
No, that's not even political. That's just a human. It's like, how fucking old are these people?
Who could have watched the game last night and not thought Jalen Hurts for president? The poise on this motherfucker?
You know what I can't watch, and you guys probably can? The diagram of the plates and the screws going into a fake bony hand that they put up on the screen.
Nope.
I have to look away.
Nope.
You can't watch? I mean, I know you guys have had all that. So, yeah, I know.
So I asked. So this is funny because I was afraid to be put under when I had my hand surgeries. I'm like, you only get so many being put unders in your life. Like, you might not wake up. If I die, I want to see it coming. That'd be the worst way to go, to die in surgery.
You wouldn't even know.
Yeah, the people, and I worry about it, but they don't even know they died in surgery. So, well, okay. So, anyways, I asked to be awake for my surgery. So I had to watch them put the they eventually just upped the happy juice and put me to sleep because I was going
yeah.
But they were putting a plate in my hand, so the exact type of shit.
But did you watch it?
I watched the beginning, and then supposedly they were like, "Yeah, let's turn the knob a little bit on the happy juice and put this guy to sleep."
And then your eyes.
Yeah,
closed.
I'm out.
Okay.
So Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, they're going to be favored in every game, but that Christmas game is going to be off the chain.
And I'll tie a bow on it. At some point, they put up Hurts was 13 of 15 this year on 3rd or 4th and 1 running the ball, which is just
it's a weapon, dude. Look at all these teams that struggle in short yardage in the low red.
Yes,
he's a huge weapon in the low red.
Yep, everywhere. Good team.
Miles Sanders doesn't get enough credit.
He looked good.
He's a good back. I mean, there's a lot of backs that are fighting for credit in the league, and he's a guy that should be named more often.
And there's a bunch of free agents coming up in a year, and he's one of them. So playing well right now.
Bradbury's good.
Your G-men. Speaking of the NFC Beast.
Love this.
It's a great fucking division right now. And so is the AFC East, by the way.
Giants are 5-1. Giants beat the Ravens.
And
Lamar had Xavier McKinney in his face, threw the pick. Saquon comes in and gets the game winner. They're just a professional outfit.
Okay, and see,
exceedingly competent.
This is what we're doing though. But and you of all people who's a Giants fan, I did this yesterday.
Should I be barking that we're great?
Well, no, I was sitting there at the TV like they won the game, and I turned to everybody in the room and I go, the Giants are just so fucking competent. And the problem is like we need to be careful about the adjectives we're using for this team because it's our confirmation bias is so. And I agree. Like maybe we shouldn't call them great, but we got to give them their due. Like they might be good at the very least. The Giants are good, and yeah, they fucking got outgained yesterday. Yeah, their leading receiver is Bellinger with like 38 yards. Andrew Thomas has been really good, by the way, but like they've overcome 10-point deficits in weeks 1, 5, and 6. They had a 16% chance to win yesterday before the pick.
I have to make an apology to the Giants.
Do you want to do it now?
In particular, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Might be early for an apology, but go
this
ahead.
week was good.
Okay,
I think the last few weeks, I've kind of been eating crow a bit. Kayvon flies around. He may not show up on the stat sheet all the time, but he's got the quarterback getting off his spot damn near every time he gets a green light rush.
Yeah.
He's getting his hand on the football in the passing game. He's flying around. I was worried that he was maybe going to show up out of shape, and that's just like – I've been hurt before. I've been hurt before, and I've come back that way.
Yeah.
And I kind of projected probably on that a little bit.
Yeah.
And shout out to Kayvon Thibodeau for being a beast. He looks great. He's running great. I love that Giants defense. Fun to watch.
Point differerential for the Giants plus 14 at 5-1.
Yeah, so they're winning tight ball games. They've overcome 10-point deficits. They got outgained yesterday. The big question for me is, and it was 4:05 to like 2:30 or something. The big question to me is, how long can they keep this up, and what happens when they have their first big loss? I'm not asking that question to be like a Debbie Downer because this is a great win, dude. These are all great wins, and Brian Dable is the man. But like, how are they going to respond when they have that bad loss?
I think it's next week.
You think? I think it might be next week.
At
Jags.
Yep.
The Jags feel like a team that could beat the Giants.
And then they have
I got
to
them
go
rolling
to
next
Seattle.
week.
Oh, okay.
I got the G-Men rolling on.
Okay.
I like that.
Well, I mean,
the
Giants, man, there's just a lot. Like, Dimes is 8-3 his last 11. He hadn't thrown for more than 220 yards. Like, this is not me downing the Giants. Last week, I paid them a big compliment that they reminded me of the Titans. I'm just saying they have to do something at wide receiver, in my humble opinion. Like, you're trading for somebody, mate, because
I wouldn't be a buyer with this unit.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think what's a fun way to put it, especially with college teams, we're playing this year's schedule with next year's team.
Got it.
You know, we're just young. This is not the year. They're not going to win the Super Bowl. It could be 11-6 and a playoff team, and that'd be awesome. But I wouldn't sacrifice assets to go get one more piece just to still lose.
I like what the Jets have.
The whole league should just sit on their hands.
Go get Christian.
There's only 3-4 good teams in the league that can win the Super Bowl. 5, maybe 6. But like by your logic, 26 teams should just sit there with their on their hands. I really do.
Tony's not healthy. I think if it's Wan'Dale Robinson, Kadarius Toney, a healthy Sterling Shepard, which unfortunately,
that's not happening right now.
Doesn't happen. I mean, that's okay.
That's okay, sure. But I also want to have an opportunity to evaluate Danny Dimes in a good situation. Like, the situation is solid right now because of the run game. But, like, I want a chance to develop him with, like, I don't know, there's some names out here. I mean, Odell, I think, is going to be a Buffalo Bill. But the Giants thing, you ask him 3 weeks ago, maybe not. But now it looks kind of fun to be a New York Giant. Like, you want to get back on that wagon. DJ Moore. Maybe you want a disgruntled Robbie Anderson. And by the way, Robbie Anderson I would never trade for if I was New York, because can you imagine Robbie telling Danny Dimes to shut the fuck up or something. Like,
that would hurt.
Danny Dimes would be
Daniel's
like,
feelings.
You need like Aaron Rodgers with Robbie Anderson. Like Aaron Rodgers and Robbie Anderson would be a better pairing. But I do think they probably might want to make a move at some point. Is all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl.
If it ain't broke.
I feel like every year Des Bryant tweets about this time.
Yeah.
You just said they can't win the Super Bowl. Now it's if it ain't broke.
I just wouldn't make a move. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's fine. Thibodeau, you mentioned Thibodeau. Emotional on the field afterwards, like you're eating crow because you said he might be out of shape. Kyle, big deal. People say worse all the time in this business.
Well,
but,
he's a duck. I feel bad about it.
Well, listen,
First round duck.
Well, also the guy. Here's where I feel good for him, and I don't think like. Listen, I still think he's got some work to do. I think he'd be the first to tell you that. But the guy took a lot of shit for like quote unquote character concerns and all this stuff, like not character concerns, but they were talking about his character, like who he is as a teammate, as a player. And I thought it was really cool at the end of the game. First off, way to stay alive and use his hands and get a hand on that football, which sealed the game.
Hands on balls.
And a walk-off feels great. And probably the biggest sack or biggest defensive play by a rookie this year. Probably a high-profile rookie making this big play here, a walk-off. Not only is he emotional on the field, but in the locker room, you could see his D-line mates were super psyched for him. As he's doing the interview.
I love that.
And that brought me back to being a young player. And, like, you could feel that there's love for this guy in the room. Even with the early injuries and whatever and what people say on the outside, like, people like this kid. So,
the NFL can be as lonely a place as there is in professional business, and that's what it is. It's at the highest level of professional business. And when you're in that situation, you can feel the love from your teammates. It reminds you of why you play the game.
You can put some wind in your sails too if you're a rookie.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
and just getting off the schneid, getting that first one's really hard. I'll say this, man. We Lamar is probably the lead here. Like, Lamar did not make the plays he had to make to win, and that's shown up a couple times this year. Listen, I hate how binary this Lamar argument gets every fucking time. It's like you either love him or you hate him forever, and that's the argument. Can I say this? Lamar has not played his best football when it counts this year. Okay, like at the end of that Bills game, he didn't make the throw he had to make. He ended up with a pick in the end zone. When I saw it in real time, I did not see that there was a much better option and there was a better time to throw that football. People swayed me. I was like, hey, don't put that on Lamar. But it wasn't hard once I saw the tape. They've blown a couple big leads here. That pick yesterday was bad, man. Like the snap, I don't know what happened with that snap. Kyle, was it early? Was it just a bad snap?
I don't know if he wasn't
snap?
expecting it. It could have been on a different cadence. I don't know. I'd have to be there.
But burn the ball. And I'm the biggest Lamar fan, dude. And I don't think any of this matters. Like, we get so bogged down in
You're talking about the fumble and then pick?
Right after the penalty. Third and one that turned into
fumble.
36.
Yeah. And by the way, the penalty was really what killed him there because they convert there. It's over pretty much.
Whoa.
And that was the case with a couple of their conversions against Miami. They couldn't score in the second half against the Bills, and they throw that pick. Lamar has not been his best this year, and that doesn't mean anything in the long run, except for that if you're the Ravens front office, maybe you're looking down at the field and you're like, well, if we're going to lose, I guess that's one way to lose. Is like we don't have to, the entire world's not screaming at us to give him $400 million because he's losing some of these games. And he's still a fucking great player. He's still an elite talent, an elite quarterback that can win them a Super Bowl if they get hot. But right now they're not hot. In the same token, they can get hot because these are leads they're blowing, and they're blowing them different ways. And when your best player is making mistakes, one way to look at it is like it's really disappointing, but he'll get those right? So I feel good about the Ravens, man. They've been up on good teams.
And they've blown it in the fourth quarter every.
And they got something out of Drake yesterday. They're going to get fucking J.K. Dobbins healthier. They'll figure this shit out. I mean, but Lamar's not playing his best. And saying that doesn't mean you hate Lamar, okay? PSA.
And Bateman will come back, but wouldn't you say Baltimore's a better candidate for going out and getting another piece because his help is Bateman and Duvernay and, of course, Mark Andrews.
I like those guys.
I think Duvernay's great.
I agree. I agree. But just one more piece to change things up. I mean, I feel like
there's
not the possession receiver that's always open.
Who has better options
other than Mark Andrews?
Danny Dimes or Lamar?
Lamar.
How much?
Yeah,
Lamar by a country mile, dude. So I'm not going to. I don't need to make a move Now, if you want a luxury, sure. But, like, I think the difference for this team is they haven't been able to close games out. And a receiver's not doing that in the second half, in my opinion. I was with you, like, at one point I was like, they don't have the guys, but I'm really into Bateman. Okay, I think Duvernay's pretty good. Mark Andrews, if he catches that ball yesterday, that game's totally different, right?
Here's the snap.
So people are going to get on Lamar, and we have, but, like, catch the ball in the end zone. Mark Andrews is one of your best players. And he'd be the first to tell you that. He's got to catch that football.
Lamar lifts his leg and puts his hands up. It just looks like it comes back hot.
It comes back hot. He's still in his cadence.
I thought everybody was late. I thought everybody was late out of their snap, but I'm not sure. Kyle.
I'm just looking at it right now. I'm figuring out how to work this slider. There you go. So he went.
Everybody's late.
And then McKinney's in his face.
Hot.
So yeah, just come here and punt the ball. But
whatever it is, just burn the ball, man. You know, and he's got to realize that. And you know, he lives dangerously. He made a throw crossbody a couple weeks ago against the Bills in the rain that somebody came up with on the left sideline, on the near sideline. I don't remember what part of the game that was, but it was like no, yes, like, and those plays are great, but right now the margins are tight for this team. So,
Lamar said it just feels like we're beating ourselves. All their pre-snap penalties and stuff. Ronnie Stanley getting back in the pitch count at left tackle. They increased his reps yesterday. But they got lit up on the blitz, heavy blitz versus Lamar Jackson. And that goes to my asshole of the week, Wink Martindale.
He is.
Who is like, I seen this fucker in practice, man. And that's how I imagine Wink talks. Wink Martindale looks like every softball travel coach ever.
He looks like a lot of the guys I play in softball.
Right?
Honestly.
Like, I want to play
We're going to make the playoffs, and I'm going to be sitting at home. By the way, we got our last game tomorrow.
Oh, good
and we're
luck.
probably
But
eliminated.
to go back to that pre-snap, that snap issue, the center quarterback exchange, a lot of that has to do with pressures. You're looking around trying to communicate. You got a young O-line. You're trying to relay it to your left tackle.
And Morgan Moses
Next thing you
went
know,
down.
ball snapped.
Morgan Moses went down,
heel injury, they say.
Wah-hoo-wah.
And it's questionable.
We saw a snap like that with Jason Kelsey and Jalen Hurts last night. That was almost a disaster for your
Shit
boy
happens, bro.
and for millions of Americans. So let's stay.
Your boy, too.
And you as well, because you were texting me right up, like, you sure, like, you want to do this?
I went 5 for 5 in my pool.
Did you really?
Yeah. Happens,
good.
once every few years.
I want to toot my own horn. 8-3 yesterday on the plays.
Nice.
The teasers though 1-2, so I got to stop with the teasers.
Yeah.
And the live watch was fun. I watched in the
you
airport
did?
for a bit.
It was good. It was fun. It was good.
I wish I could have watched more.
It was fun.
It was fun.
I like our Jesus ad segment.
Still going on.
Okay. So,
I want to read that review.
the Jets and the Packers, man. Okay, this is fun, man, talking about the Jets, okay? Schrager said this on the Fox show. The last time the Jets had a number one Fox crew, like, I think it was like Chad Pennington time. I think we were doing field parties.
Squanch didn't get a number one crew?
Yeah, I don't think he got a number one Fox crew. But the Jets know exactly who they are, man. And I think the difference between these two teams, ironically, there are some better young players on the Jets for sure, but the Jets know exactly who the fuck they are. And the Packers, I have no idea who they are offensively. I have no idea what their identity is. By the way, last chance to get the Jets on an advantageous line. Like, Vegas is going to now, I think, figure this out. And you're not going to be getting a lot of Jets catching.
Vegas watched the game.
Vegas is like, okay, they're good. And I actually think their ceiling's higher than the Giants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
That could be reactive. We could be overvaluing. Maybe teams are playing Green Bay and we're just overvaluing the fuck out of them because they're beating Green Bay, like whether it's the Jets or the Giants. You know what I mean?
I mean, people are seemingly forgetting that the Giants declined the fifth-year option on Daniel Jones.
Right.
So they don't think that they have the guy. The Jets think that they have the guy.
Yeah, they might have the guy, dude. And Joe Douglas is doing work. They got a lot of young guys, man. Young people are just fucking hungry. They're just young and they're
I wrote
hungry.
youth. I'm glad.
Youth. He's got youth.
Yeah.
That's a good note.
That's a really good note.
But like,
that's my note of the week. That's a new Miller Lite mention. Kyle's note of the week.
That's better than mine. I wrote down Quinnen Williams.
Okay, yeah, Quinnen Williams is fucking
note.
amazing. But like they know who they are. They lay up before the half to kick a field goal, and I'm like screaming at the TV. But they know who they are. Dylan fumbles the ball. They get in the red zone. They run it like 4 straight times. They just stay at it. They had 80 yards of offense, in the third quarter, man. The third quarter. 80 yards of offense. They blocked a punt. They blocked a field goal. They were like 1 for 11 on third down. They still won. They're plus 48 in the fourth quarter this year with a bunch of fucking Cabbage Patch Kids, dude. Like, it's actually incredible. Think about how mature this team is. And I went and looked at the roster last night, and there's also a bunch of vets on this team. You know, and that's the sneaky
at key positions.
That's the sneaky touch of Joe Douglas.
Yeah.
Who deserves a lot of credit. He's gotten a lot of credit, but what he hasn't gotten credit for, I think, is balancing the roster. He's got a bunch of young kids who were just on college campuses, and he's got a bunch of guys who, like, whether it's Mosley, who's sneaky 30, or, you know, a bunch of the other, like, 37, 36-year-old guys, Dwayne Brown on this team.
Who is,
an
shout
OG,
out to Dwayne Brown, pulling
OG.
outside like nobody's business yesterday and lead blocking for Braxton Berrios on a huge explosive and getting out there in front of Breece Hall.
Yep.
Dwayne Brown looks like vintage Dwayne Brown. The things you can do with a guy like that, it's like Trent Williams a little bit, where it's like you can lead block now.
Yeah.
Now Dwayne's older, but,
A mini, yeah.
but you got that going on a little bit.
Dwayne looks great, and a big pickup for them because they needed it and they were in a pinch. But, like, yeah, this is a team that struggled offensively for a lot of the game and still beat the hell out of the Packers, man. And the Packers suck, man. Okay, like, yesterday they sucked. I'm not saying they suck, but, like,
bad.
The Packers offense, I have no idea what they are. I have no idea who they are, and Aaron Rodgers feels the same way. Because Aaron Rodgers after the game is like, we need to simplify this shit. I don't know exactly what he means by that.
He needs to get Aaron Jones the ball.
But is Aaron Jones being punished, man?
I don't know what the deal is.
Is it because he questioned the play calling at the end of the game?
I thought he had
London?
a really politically correct response about that. I didn't see what Aaron saw.
Is Matt LaFleur triggered?
Man, that whole best man situation.
9 carries, 4 targets.
Salah? There's some love triangle here.
They were each other's best man.
Was that what it is?
Yeah.
So go on.
I don't know what happens there.
Well, no, here's the thing. Another sidebar. Mike LaFleur's got a bunch of fucking basketball hoops up in all the offices. Why aren't we talking about that? Everybody's like, hey, Miami, they got ping pong tables. It's a big deal. How about the basketball hoops? It's kind of working for them.
Ping pong table, you got to commit to a game.
Yeah.
Basketball hoop, you can just get a shot up.
You're right.
Keep it moving.
We had a pool table in Philly, and that definitely was a distraction.
Yeah, time suck. Yep.
I was in there. Jason Peters, I was like Jason Peters ATM. That guy's so good at billiards.
Stop.
It's incredible, bro.
Hey, does DJ Moore work best on the Giants, Ravens, or Packers?
I think the
Pick your offense that needs another piece.
Giants.
Giants.
You know how I feel
play
about
offensive line for the Packers.
Okay, go in.
The offensive line
Kyle.
sucked, dude. Well, I keep saying sucked.
It's not that the offensive line sucks. It's that there's continuity issues. There's health issues. There's guys playing out of position. Bakhtiari's back in the lineup, but you're letting guys run free up the middle and hitting Aaron. And even if they're not getting there for the sack, they're hitting him on the release. Aaron's hands hitting helmets. His elbows got guys around him.
It's chaos, dude.
It's chaos back there. I've been part of offensive lines like that. Walking back with your head down to the sideline is no way to go, especially when you're at home. They were damn near getting booed out of the stadium at Lambeau. I've never heard that in my fucking life.
They've never been beaten like that at home with a healthy Aaron Rodgers. 17 points. Dude, the New York Jets in the year of our Lord, 2022, a historic win. Like, it's crazy. And it's the D-line. It was they got after that O-line, man.
It was Rankins, Franklin Myers, Williams were all over the place. The Franklin Myers sack was so violent, that win.
Bro, some of the like, even Quinnen Williams had 7 pressures, 2 sacks. By the way, he just got fucking yelled at like 2 weeks ago when we were talking about that.
Yes.
Like, Quinnen Williams probably stood up and was like, dude, I'm not the old fucking rookie Quinnen Williams anymore. Like, I'm your best player.
Leave me the fuck alone.
And he kind of proved that yesterday. He was one of the best players on the field, period, yesterday in the NFL. And even like, backdoor early TFL, next play, he takes Runyon. On some of these plays that he didn't log a stat, he was violent. Like, he had Runyon turned around and pushed Runyon by the small of his back 6 yards up the field. He had Runyon like just doing spins and shit. And then, even on the Rankins sack, he's the one who popped off the screen, running the right guard flat over, dude, like peeling him over the pile. Everything this D-line does is violent. They rush well together. The big guys fucking gain ground like no other. So they can play with power and they can gain ground in short area. Look at Quinnen Williams hitting Aaron Rodgers low, which was not a penalty because he's outside the pocket. How much ground he gained in like 4 steps, dude. This is a big, fast group that plays well and can run games. They loop around each other. They can get sexy, but they can get fucking physical.
They can win one-on-ones physically or athletically, and they can work in unison on games. Yeah. And when you're an offensive lineman preparing for a unit, albeit of average guys, if they can run games well, you're in some kind of hot water there. Add to the fact that they have all these dudes showcased with Quinnen Williams as well. They can win those one-on-ones. It's a nightmare. He's so big and long, like Chris Jones type, but even bigger and heavier.
Yeah.
The favorite video of my life is Quinnen Williams in the NFL draft when he sneezes, blesses himself, and then thanks himself.
What a legend, dude.
It's so pure and wonderful. It's incredible.
Big proponent.
Maybe we'll throw it in.
Big proponent of blessing yourself.
He said bless you.
Say bless
Thank
you.
Can I just...
let's watch it.
Bless you. Thank you.
The different character things. Listen, thank you that I got here, so...
Love this guy, dude.
He's amazing.
I big agree. We knew he had something special.
He's my favorite player.
But honestly, great kid, and had some injuries early and big market. People are like, "What the fuck's going on with this guy?" But he's crushing it. And Sauce, man, again, like we could repeat the Joe Douglas. Like he turned this player into this player every week. We can give you the long list of young guys that are playing well. But Sauce Gardner, man, walking off that field in a cheese hat, pissing off Alan Lazard to the point that he walked over and knocked the fucking cheese hat off his...
He had multiple photo ops at Lambeau after the game. He wasn't even walking off the field. He was like, this is my red carpet right now.
You know why you do that, though?
I'm going to take these perfectly white teeth and smile all day.
Honestly, bro, the reason you do that is because you don't see those guys again in division. Like, they're not in your division.
Like, fuck
you don't
off.
have to see them later. Like, the only place you'll see them is the Super Bowl. So you can fucking act up after a win like that. And Sauce Gardner actually gets Alan Lazard to knock the cheese hat off, which means like Lazard. And when you're playing a young guy like Sauce and he's really good, it's frustrating. You're like, damn, dude, you've been at this 3 months. I've been working my whole life. I'm like a vet. And I can't, even when he's beat, Lazard had the ball and Sauce comes in and punches it out. Like his length, his closing ability, his recovery, the accuracy of his hands, man, like they're fun. The young guys are fun. Breece Hall, we haven't even mentioned Breece Hall. The end around, he was supposed to pitch that.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
He's just all daylight.
It was a trap. I thought it was like the coolest trap in the world. And they ran a pressure into a trap. 7 needs to scrape tighter, but like he's supposed to pitch that ball. So
ready for my Coach of the Year rankings?
Yeah, sure.
7, Sean McDermott. 6, Arthur Smith. 5, Pete Carroll. 4, Robert Saleh. 3, Kevin O'Connell. 2, Nick Sirianni. 1, Brian Dable.
That's pretty good.
And a good time to remind the people that Dable rhymes with table. A lot of you people in the national media still don't have it. Congratulating Brian Dayball.
Yeah, you're right. And
rhymes
also,
with table.
And
fable.
No, but the significance of that is
Mabel.
Brian Table he was in Buffalo. Like they missed the whole thing there, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We're breaking
tables,
yep.
man. So. Anyways,
pretty good rankings though, huh?
I like them.
I can read them again later if you like.
I don't know how half those guys are.
Let's get Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh so we can get to this Kansas City Buffalo. Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh, man. This game was so interesting. You gave out Pittsburgh. We were on this thing, man. Brady's record against Pittsburgh is irrelevant. This is a totally different situation. And you had to know coming off 38-3 that Pittsburgh was going to be undervalued. That line kept creeping up. Brady's in New York Friday night for a Robert Kraft party.
A wedding.
Yeah, which turned out to be a wedding, which I kind of like that. Like, come to my party.
I like the surprise.
And then like,
wedding.
Surprise.
Yeah. But Tom, like the NFL season that you're currently playing?
Dude,
hold on, did he miss Friday meetings?
Probably.
No, he missed Saturday morning stuff, I think.
See, that's where you can't, I've played with guys.
Did he miss Saturday morning stuff, Cowboy? Or somebody? Because
I mean, regardless,
that's important because if you go out on a Friday and you can make it back,
it's only important. It's only important if you lose.
His noodle isn't in the playbook. He also missed 10, 11 days in preseason camp.
Right, and he didn't even fly with the team.
I retract my statement. Sue him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, Mitch Trubisky owns the Bucs.
Bill Belichick wasn't at Robert Kraft's surprise wedding.
6 touchdowns in 2018 against the Bucs.
So beyond that, because hey, like the backdrop is the Steelers are up in this game in the second half, right? And then Pickett gets drilled by who the fuck killed him, Devin White.
He missed a walkthrough.
And then he missed the walkthrough Saturday. So like I always say, I said this last night to Dr. Fax, who's like, don't you think, this is blah blah blah. I'm like, guys have different rules until they lose that game, and then guys are like, damn. But it's not like Brady has a ton of help. It's not like the O-line played real well, if we're being honest. Like, I'm not caping for Brady. He wasn't his best. He also made like that throw to that tight end he put it on Spillane's left ear in the middle of the field to that Otten kid. It was like one of the best throws I saw all Sunday. But they couldn't get things going. They couldn't get things going in the red zone. But Trubisky, Kyle, your boy, that was a big moment for him, like a legacy game for Trubisky, because all he's done, and we've talked about this before, you're a big fan of his. He showed up, he smiled, he's been a good teammate, he's put his head down and he's worked. And like I didn't take issue with the Pickett thing, but I felt bad for the kid. And he comes in this game, immediately 3rd and 15, he converts. That's a big confidence boost for not just him, but the whole offense being like, okay, like we're still like, we can do stuff, right?
We got 2 dudes who can sling it.
Yeah. 3rd and 15, big confidence boost. 3rd and 13 to Claypool, extend the scoring drive. 3rd and 16 to Claypool with 3 minutes to go. 3rd and 11 with 2 minutes to go, ices it with his legs. Like, he was a 3rd and long machine, dude.
He's a threat.
There were some of these guys, you've been waiting to say he's a fucking threat.
He's a threat, bro.
But Matt Canada, not the best play caller in my opinion, but they did enough early to get Pickett going, short, easy completions. That first scoring drive, Devin White had a big penalty, and then they dropped Harris in coverage for a touchdown. Turns out that was a lot of what they needed to do was get on the board, get 7 early.
Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
Hello! Shout out to Kyle, who is a big Birds fan and a loyal Green Light Pod listener.
Oh, Kyle. Okay. Shout out. Matt Canada got you there.
It. You got it.
Matt Canada. So the Bucs struggled like inside against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh defensive interior, they showed up big. Just a couple examples. We talked about the red zone with the Bucs. Like there's an opportunity for them to go up like 10-7. They're down 7-3 early in this ball game. And first down, Hayward, Olays, Gedeke, first down. So you have no gain, 1 yard. Ogunjobi slides past Hainsey. It's Hainsey.
Hainsey.
Yeah, Ogunjobi slides past Hainsey for a TFL. And then Hayward blows up Gedeke on 3rd down. And Hayward's playing with his fucking hair on fire.
And when the offense is on the field, Cam is 6 inches off the field, invested in every single play that's going on. I love that guy.
He's a fucking
he's a pro's pro.
He's a pro's pro.
There was some like little 5
There's
yard
only a handful of those guys in the league making
procedural call, and Hayward's over there. What the fuck are we doing?
He's a football guy.
He forced a punt on a 3rd and 2. Highsmith had a strip sack the next possession. You had Wormley destroying a block on 3rd and 1 backed up. But I just mentioned 4 or 5 situations where the D-line immediately affected possession, whether it was a 4-point play in the low red, whether it's forcing a punt, whether it's flipping field position. Wormley backed up on 3rd and 1. So there were a lot of big swing moments of this game, but none bigger than that kickoff return out of the half, in my opinion. Because when you're a bad team, quote unquote, and you're beating a good team, quote unquote, whether you're at home or on the road, your biggest fear is coming out of a half where you played well. Like, what do they have for us? If we get pinned, taking the kick out of the half and go 3 and out, like Tom Brady's going to be on our head. This kid who got hawked by Nakobe Dean, but they set them up for at least points and got out of the shadow of their own end zone. That was huge, man. Not to mention the Vita Vea getting caught running off the field and them converting for 45 to Hayward. There were a couple big swing moments in this game where it was won and loss, and Tomlin and the Steelers dug deep in the bag to get this win.
You know those things at the airport that get large people from terminal to terminal?
The moving sidewalks.
More the private.
The trams.
Private transportation.
They need one for Vita.
They need one for Vita to get him off the field. Yeah. Like when he's late.
Little orange light.
Send one out. Dude in an American Airlines
guy
uniform.
In a suit.
Yeah.
Steelers were 0-8 before Sunday without TJ Watt. Now 1-8.
It's a big win for the Steelers because it shows what you're capable of. Like, you don't have TJ Watt. He's going to come back this year.
Still think they're pretty not good.
No, but I think they're okay. I don't think they're bad, bro. I don't think they're a bad team. When they have TJ Watt in the lineup, they're not a bad team.
Are they going to finish the season above 500?
It's Tomlin.
Yes.
At Dolphins. Huge.
Keep going.
Sunday night. At Dolphins, at Eagles are the next two.
Okay, keep going.
At Dolphins, at Eagles, home Saints, home Bengals. Like there's some.
But you could put anybody almost other than the bottom 7 teams in the league and be like, oh, the Bengals. And the Bengals haven't been playing good football.
I wanted to play a game with you two cats.
I think the Saints can line up and run it all over them.
Called Next 3 Games. Are you ready?
Yeah.
For the Bays, the 2 Bays, Battle of the Bays.
Okay.
Tampa Bay, currently 3-3.
Okay.
At Carolina, home Baltimore, home Los Angeles Rams. Take your time.
What are they going to go?
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
At Carolina. W.
Home Baltimore.
2-1.
Loss.
Home Los Angeles Rams.
Win.
That might be a loss.
I think they go 3-0. I think they're 6-3.
I'm just thinking with my Tampa Bay under win total hat on because that's a big bet.
Green Bay, at Washington, at Buffalo, at Detroit. 3 straight road games coming up. At Washington,
2-1.
At Buffalo, at Detroit.
1-2.
I got 1-2.
But knowing the way this thing goes, they probably fucking play with Buffalo or something. You know, it's just that's the way this thing goes.
Can I say something that's not very nice?
What?
Todd Bowles, as a head coach, wins 39.7% of the games. He
I don't know if it's not nice. I think it's just facts.
Yeah,
29-44.
We don't say, it's not very nice that Lamar Jackson went 1 for 7 in the red zone, but it's just factual.
Right. Bruce is still in the building, but if, at what point do we say, hey, Tom, you're going to need to rejoin the team?
But it's not, yeah. But it's literally them missing players that they thought they counted on to start the year. They can't go to Russell Gage 2 out of 3 times in the red zone from the 10-yard line. They're missing, Gronk, who retired and everything, and he's on NFL on Fox. He's my dad's teammate now.
Yeah.
My dad has a red zone target. But they're missing guys inside offensively. Like they don't plan for that. Now this is where it's their fault. They're like, oh, let me go get Julio Jones.
Exactly.
Okay,
and Mike Evans doesn't play 17 games.
So the problem is health, and the problem is the condition of that roster right now. All right, Kansas City, Buffalo, Kyle.
So the game started off, I think it might have been the start of the game that threw me off a little bit emotionally because Buffalo drives down, they fumble. Chiefs go down there, throws a pick, and then the game starts, right? It's like, okay, we both kind of pissed down our legs a little bit. But the fumble was more costly, I feel like, and indicative of it wasn't as good a play as the potential touchdown that Pat threw in the corner of the end zone when he scrambled out to the right, threw a 50-50 ball. We've seen that ball come down in the Chiefs' hands a million times.
Yep.
But throughout the game, Romo said it on the broadcast. It was going to be taking what you can get, and when the explosives come, you got to hit it. You can't miss that opportunity. And we saw Josh Allen not missing many opportunities. Gabe Davis, huge. Stephon Diggs, huge. Roger Saffold in the lineup, huge in protection, allowing Josh Allen to stand back there and do his thing.
Yeah.
You talked about the Bills' defense. They fly around.
They're so fun.
Like nobody's business. One thing I love from the Chiefs is Jet McKinnon in shotgun. They can put Jet McKinnon out at receiver. There's a lot of motion with him. You're not going to line up Clyde Allaire on at receiver, and he does that sometimes as nature of the offense. But I like to see that wrinkle when you get that check down style of a game to put a guy like Jet McKinnon on the field. It can add a lot of value to an offense.
No question. And, from the Chiefs end of things,
And Von Miller was the X factor.
Von Miller is the guy. And, listen, it wasn't spectacular. He had to work for these rushes. It wasn't like he was just ghost technique and motherfuckers. He had to work. Pat was drifting. Pat was, patting the ball sometimes. But the last 3 drives, he forces a field goal. He's got a sack that gets him off the field.
Sack over the top.
Yep. And then the 3rd drive, he forces the pick, obviously.
Underneath.
So, listen, again, it's not one of these games that you have to draw too much from, because every single game in this trilogy now or whatever it is has been different, right? You had the first game in the playoffs where the Bills, they were kind of cute. They were like, oh, you can't keep up with the fucking Chiefs, and before the half you got to think about going for it and that sort of thing, and you couldn't keep pace with them. Then the next year you had that I think they beat them in Arrowhead last year.
They beat
and
them
then
in
they go to the
Arrowhead.
playoffs and lose to them.
Grim
So
Reaper.
they're all different games, and so like there's nothing you can really draw from individual games between these two teams. They're going to see each other a billion times as our kids are growing up and becoming young adults. Like our kids are going to be in college with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen posters on the wall, and they're going to be looking back fondly at this shit like it's like, you know, Bulls Knicks or Brady and Manning. And I think that's really cool that our sport has something like that to hang their hat on, especially in a year where, look around, dude, you know, all that glitters is not gold with some of these quarterbacks, right? I'm not saying they're not great, but they're going to be up and down years for guys. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they can fly in any weather. It doesn't matter.
It's
New
a
coordinator.
God-given advantage, right?
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes was touched by God physically. He can do things with his arm and his legs and his mind.
Yep.
Josh Allen, physically different. It's like watching the tape of, you know, a Hall of Famer playing high school against the kids he was playing. It's like
And he's
Josh
in the
Allen's
pros.
jumping over guys.
Hurdle guys,
He's
yeah.
running over guys, taking the best tackle from, you know, Nick Bolton, whoever, and they just look pedestrian next to
Yeah.
him. That's the difference. Patrick's mind and his arm, Josh's body, his arm and his mind. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah, it's incredible. Josh, by all accounts, like brilliant cat too, and those two drives to, you know, the one to end the half, I think it was a 96 play drive, and then the second half to finish the game off with that touchdown. Like these are the money drives, and you know, like is there anybody you trust more than Josh Allen with the ball in his hands? I know you probably say Patrick Mahomes, but
I'd say flip a coin for
I
that.
had Buffalo last night, and I legitimately did not blink when they got the ball back and needed a touchdown. Like, did not blink. I was like, they're going to score.
It's like Madden. Whoever has the ball last, right? Like, not enough
But
time.
it's just Josh. Like the way offenses get bogged down in conversion situations is when nobody's open, can't evade the rush, can't see. You know, guys just kind of like Josh Allen. Even when nobody's open, you can always extend a play. You can
runs
keep a
people
drive
open.
alive. So when you need you're in 4-down territory. There's nobody better than Josh Allen, in my opinion.
Except
and Patrick
Kyle,
Mahomes.
Kansas City did have the ball last, and I feel like the narrative has been, hey, look, they don't need Tyreek. Well, what was a lot different yesterday than the 13 seconds where they beat Buffalo in the playoffs last year was that big chunk to Tyreek catch and run before the Kelsey, whatever we're calling that from the slot, where he said,
13 seconds.
just freaking throw it to me.
Yeah.
The big difference is Von Miller. The big difference is a guy you can win with on the edge, regardless of who's out there. You know, Andrew Wiley had his hands full against a Hall of Famer yesterday.
They got Pacheco now, dude. We're good.
You get beat around the edge. You get beat on the high side by Von Miller, and then in your head you're thinking, he's got so much speed. I need to get back there on this set. Next time down the field, Von Miller sets up his 2-minute drive inside rush with the outside rush the drive before.
That's called manifesting.
That's what these guys are doing. That's the game you're playing when you're playing against Von Miller. That's the X factor. Tyreek Hill obviously is missed, but it's a different formula. Juju Smith-Schuster was incredible yesterday. I loved watching him after the catch. He was able to take hits. He looks great. He did some yoga in the end zone with Patrick Mahomes.
We said he was going to have a big year.
Pacheco, man, looks like Tyreek Hill cutting off the hair.
Number,
Same
the
size.
same number.
Same size.
I think he might be a little bigger.
5'10", 216.
Yeah, little.
So listen, we got the best of the rest here coming up. We got a couple games that are not going to get the love and attention these 5 brilliant football games between great teams are naturally going to get. So I'm going to put us on a clock. We're going to go 2 minutes a game here. We might not need all 2 minutes for these games. Okay, let's start with Minnesota, Miami. Okay, Minnesota's having fun. That's what it is, and we're going to go over 2 minutes on this one because Kirk Cousins had a fucking chain on the plane. A chain on the plane, which in his community is the equivalent of being invited to play golf at the country club. Like, you're in, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you are in the social circle, dude. These guys have accepted you.
Multiple chains.
They literally put multiple chains. Now you got the juice. So Kirk Cousins got the juice. Maybe best plane ride home. There's some candidates for that. But they're having fun, man. They're having fun out there. It looked like a fucking flash. Do you remember flash mobs?
Flash mobs.
It looked like a flash
Sort of.
mob when they scored their touchdown. Everybody's doing different dances.
Different dances.
They're having so much fun, dude. They're making me like them. It helps that I have the over win total, but they're making me like them. And Kirk Cousins got chains on. So I don't have much to say other than that Zadarius Smith is awesome. He had like 10 pressures yesterday, and it's costing the Vikings $3 million to have Zadarius Smith on a team that's costing the Packers $11 million. That's what I call a double whammy.
They're another team with a small point differential, plus 21, despite being 5-1. The Jags have a point differential of plus 24. They're 2-4. For context.
Christian Darrisaw, Minnesota Vikings, mauler left tackle.
Yeah. You like him.
Mauler.
Yeah.
Like I liked Penei Sewell. Yeah. Now I'm a Christian Darrisaw guy.
I want to see it.
Hey, just go to.
Have no idea.
Christian
what his
Darrisaw
face looks
highlights.
Like. He played college ball in Southwest Virginia.
He's the guy on the team that.
He's a Hokie.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, I remember him.
When a reporter calls in to say, "Can I do a story with you, Coach?"
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? And the coach says, "I want to talk about Christian Darrisaw." That's the
I like
culture.
how excited this guy gets you.
That's the culture. I mean, I think it's been 300 plus snaps since he's given up pass snaps since he's given up a pressure or a hit or anything like that. Like he's doing Lane Johnson type stuff on the left side, and he's being freakish about it.
Well, we're at 2 minutes, so we can't praise that Hokie anymore.
Love it.
But yeah, like good.
I got it
for
in.
them. And Miami outgained them. Sideline temperature.
177
See the difference
for
in the
Tyreek Hill.
sideline temperature?
It's like 20, 30 degrees.
Insane,
hate
dude.
that place.
Fuck Miami, dude.
Okay.
Nice,
Let's
Kyle.
not say that. I
That's
really
right.
like Miami. I just think like next time I go down there, I might get jumped by a bunch of 5'7" guys.
And it's going to be a place of death for you. Nobody really knows because you're in South Beach, you're in
Below
Miami
sea level.
Gardens.
Somewhere in the 305.
Are
there's
you
like a
in
little
Hollywood, Florida?
cross
Nobody
on the
knows.
road, beaten up
Pembroke
to death
Pines.
over to
Pembroke
Tagovailoa.
Pines, Fort
I like that
Lauderdale.
spot.
Yeah.
Who the
Yeah.
hell knows?
All right. New England,
Bailey
Cleveland.
Zappi make me happy.
Okay, Zappi, he made the throw to Parker was amazing. Early in the game, the throw to Parker was great.
But that takes the Browns out of the game offensively.
No
It takes their
question.
guns. It dulls their swords.
Here's the lead. Bill Belichick always takes it to the Browns. You know why? Because Jim Brown is watching. And Jim Brown is like his favorite person on the planet. Here's what it goes for Bill Belichick. Number 1, the Navy. Number 2, Jim Brown.
Bill Belichick's America's team.
Okay, yeah. Bill Belichick's America's teams read like this: the Navy, Jim Brown, and then lacrosse. And it might be lacrosse just because Jim Brown. So Jim Brown is a central figure, bro. When we went to Cleveland, it was a big deal to beat those guys. And then like after the game, he was like, "Stop the bus," and we like all got off the bus at Jim Brown's statue and took a big team picture, bro. Like the bus is stopped in Cleveland traffic, which there's not much of because people leave the game early. But like we stopped. And it's like me, Gronk, Ninko, like a bunch of guys like doing a fucking class photo in front of a Jim Brown statue.
Jim Brown's so good they changed the rules to lacrosse.
That's what they say.
And it's all Jim Brown, not because the Browns fired him once upon a time.
I think there's that.
Did you guys
a little
know
bit,
that?
But I think Jim Brown.
Have you
He
heard
would,
that?
he would just chest the ball.
I think Jim Brown is like the only person Bill Belichick ever had like a poster of. Like he absolutely loves this guy.
When I took my visit to New England, Bill's office is like in a storage closet, and behind the door is one of those Rubbermaid trash bins, like a big black trash bag thing. It's just filled with lacrosse sticks. And I was like, this guy is wild. Like,
Wild. Also,
little breaking news hitting in there.
Oh,
Long chooses Chiefs over Patriots.
that's interesting.
Wow.
Broken right here on green light.
Wow.
What happened there?
No, that might have
There's
been the
just-
draft.
There was just a mention
I
of
think it might have been the draft. Was that the draft? Was that story
Kyle
from the draft
visiting
or
New
free
England.
agency?
I did visit New England in pre-draft.
So there you go. It was draft. You know who I think?
Bill was the first one to call me when I
Guys,
said
we're
I
at
was playing.
205. You know the thing that
Sorry.
that Bill really he's like that about is the Jets. Like he hates the Jets.
Yeah.
Like, I think with the Browns, I bet you if I texted the guys, they stopped the statue yesterday. I'm gonna text Devin McCourty to stop the Jim Brown statue.
And if I were the Jets, I might hate Bill, and they likely do.
Yeah,
That whole one day thing, you might remember.
maybe not after this year.
Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones?
Billy Zappi.
Come on, Kyle.
Okay, this
He's
is the
got
same guy who
swag.
said Cooper Rush over Dak
Yeah,
Prescott.
and
He's got
decide whether he's on the
swag,
field's
bro.
bus or off the field's bus.
I'm on it. I've been on it.
You've been on it.
It's on record. I have record
No,
of it.
I have
on
record
radio,
of you not
on
being
tweet.
on the. You jumped
When was
off
that?
like saving Silverman.
Show me that.
I will. I can't do it right now.
Well, when we get
Give me
there.
an hour.
When we get there.
You know,
I'm on the train.
he's on the train. This morning he
Continue.
walks in. He goes, "I'd like to talk about the Jets because I'm a big Joe Douglas fan."
Well, he was in Chicago.
You in America,
Yeah.
everybody loves Joe Douglas now.
I feel like not everybody knows who Joe Douglas is, though.
Oh, come on.
Cowboy.
All right, ready? start. We're talking about Indy and Jacksonville. I got a few things to say about this game. Jacksonville's lost 3 straight. The defense didn't get any fucking turnovers. That's a big deal. No sacks, no turnovers. Why? Because Matt Ryan got the ball out quicker. They're missing Taylor and Hines. They get something out of this Jackson kid who I picked up for fantasy like 5 minutes before the fucking game.
58 pass attempts.
His fucking arm is sore today. Like, I don't know if there's a Epsom salt distributor near you, Matt, but go get some.
Alec Pierce with
PRP.
the game winner.
The kid's good, man.
Yeah.
They got
Does Matt
people-
Ryan know his name now?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Before the game, he was like Mo Green or whatever. He was like,
Oh, he fucked his name
2
up?
weeks ago. He's like, in a great touchdown catch by Mo Green. We can pull it up. He said the wrong
Well,
name.
I'll tell you whose name he knows is
Michael Pittman.
Is Michael Pittman.
16 targets.
And he knows Griffin's name. Is it Shaq Griffin? Yeah. Shaq Griffin. They went at him all day. Couple PIs. The game winner obviously went for the juggler on 3rd and 13. But, now this team is looking up at the Titans. I was going to say they know our Jelani Woods guy's name. Matt Ryan knows his name. Another tud for him. But, like,
that's who he doesn't know. Jelani.
they're going to look back at this game and be like, we had a real opportunity here. I really do. Like, this is the Jags. They were looking down at the Titans and the Colts. Those guys were wounded. When you have teams down in your division, you have to win ball games. They've lost 3 straight. So I think this one sucks. And the tempo got to them, I think, a little bit. Doug talked about the tempo and how it negated their pass rush. And that can really do that, Kyle. You know that. Like, if you guys can keep up, and you guys aren't breathing all hard and shit, and your condition, we have trouble with that.
We're the only group on the field that doesn't rotate. So
yeah, but you also
are
don't have to run that far. Like, some of y'all run a long way to get sucked off by your coaches in meetings.
Oh my God.
Like, look how far I ran. I'm right next to the run play. But like,
I feel like the same is done for defense.
for sure. Are we at 2 minutes? Thanks, Freed. But yeah, you guys, stay here. You guys, you don't rotate. But you take 3 kick steps, and then you watch A.J. Brown run
We have to take
across.
3 kick steps and then cover 15 yards downfield and pick up the ball carrier.
Kyle, did you cover 15
That's a
yards
team.
downfield all
That's
the
a
time?
team
All the
player.
time?
No, we had 4 other guys that I taught to do that.
You employed him.
I played safety.
Did y'all ever gain
You're like
15
Waylon
yards?
playing soccer. He
Yeah.
just hangs out at midfield
He got that from me.
and lets everybody gather around the goal, and then he like congratulates people.
That's great.
That's like that's so good. All right, let's start. Atlanta, San Francisco. Atlanta, Giants South.
Ooh.
Like, scrap hay, dude, and run the dog shit out of the ball on the Niners, who gave up 168 yards on the ground. Falcons went for 168. Niners had allowed 357 through 5 weeks.
Caleb Huntley, Tyler Algier, BYU, and Mariota all rushed for more than 50 or more.
Arthur Smith, man, low key.
Baskin Robbins
as
down
y'all
there.
might remember, number 6 in my Coach of the Year rankings.
That's
at present.
good.
Yep.
Some people think he deserves more respect.
Well,
Rodney
Falcons,
Dangerfield out here.
Falcons are averaging a first down or touchdown once every 3.1 plays, only behind Buffalo, Kansas City, and Baltimore.
Falcons are
look at
incredible.
look at that.
They're incredible.
Send me that, Reed.
Leading receiver Olamide
That's great.
Zaccheaus.
And they're hey, listen, I'm ready to, what's the word when you just when you give
Believe.
up? I'm ready to give up. I'm not even gonna
quit.
Yeah, I'm gonna quit. I'm quitting the Falcons under win total. I'm saying uncle. The number's 5. Like, they're gonna hit that next week somehow.
They've got the Panthers
wins.
2 of the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, they play the Panthers twice. So we're done there. By the way,
Bears.
Bucs 11.5 under. They need to go 9-2 for me to lose. I actually feel pretty good about that. That was a big swing game. Vikings over 9.5. I got the Rams under 9.5. That was a live one I hit yesterday.
Wow.
And then the Texans over 4.5, which is probably not going to happen. So, all right, let's go. We're still under a minute there. 2 minutes. Sorry, guys, we're crushing this. Okay,
Niners banged up. That was an easy call. Listen to your green light pod picks.
yeah, no question. But I fucking put them in a teaser.
Oh,
Yeah, they were catching like 5.5.
you went like 11-3.
We went good. We were good yesterday.
They
Okay,
didn't charge
so,
up the boombox down there.
So the other games that we kind of care about, Rams and Panthers. We'll talk about Robbie Anderson in the mentions. I'm
That
sure.
was fun.
Okay, so we'll save that game. There's nothing really to talk about in that game. You know, PJ Walker's out there playing ancient Matt Stafford. Cam Akers, their only good back, is like, I'm out with personal reason, which is basically him and McVay getting together and being like, he's like, I'm not going to play for you, coach. And coach is like, well, I don't want you to play for me because I'm trading you. Like, I don't want you to get hurt. And they're like, all right, good. That's it. That sounds pretty personal. Somebody was like, what do you think the personal reason is? I think it's just
Sounds
business.
personal, yeah.
It's actually ironic because this is a business reason. That's the funniest
But
thing.
it's not personal.
No, it's not personal. He's out with business. He's out for business reasons, bro.
Next week, doubtful checking account.
Or business. Okay. I got nothing to say about the game. Seattle, Arizona. Dan Orlovsky said it this morning. I caught this morning on the way in. Dan Orlovsky said, if fucking he didn't say fucking because, he goes to church. If DeAndre Hopkins, if DeAndre Hopkins is that important and he's that big of an excuse for why you're playing so terribly, then give him all Cliff Kingsbury's money. Dan Orlovsky with a spicy take. And it's true, though, because you can't claim to be some dynamo on offense, have this wildly talented quarterback. Everybody can see this kid's talent. Everybody can see this kid's talent. And he's out there just like everything's on him. And he has a study issue. We know that. So nothing's lining up real good for the Cardinals. And it's not like the second half of seasons is where they shine. So I'm fading the fuck out of the Cardinals, man. And I'm buying, I want to say this, Tariq Woolen, who made a couple nice plays yesterday, the UTSA kid. I know
Roadrunners.
Sauce Gardner's getting a lot of attention
Orange
right
and
now.
blue.
This kid has 4 picks in 4 weeks, giving up a 36.9 passer rating. He's a big physical cat, in the mold of those Pete Carroll corners. And they stole him in the 5th round. I think he was a receiver at UTSA. This kid's going to be really good. So I think we're kind of at the precipice of where we can no longer be Tariq Woolen hipsters. He's going to be a national name at some point.
Was he a junior college guy? I'm going to find out right now.
They did about a 30, 40-second highlight cut up of Kenneth Walker runs, and my mouth was agape.
Agape. Bro.
Agape.
That's such a good word, too.
I mean, he's Turpin, except as a every down back now for Seattle.
So Seattle quietly, are they good or are they not good? This is the question we should be asking. Seattle good or not good?
Well, there's no middle ground. Good.
Yeah, Seattle good?
If I have to pick them, good.
Good.
Yeah. Fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Gino, awesome.
Atlanta good or not good?
Fun. Not good. Fun.
I'll go not good, but only because I have to.
Giants good or not good?
Good.
Okay.
Not good. Also fun.
Not good?
You said we were going to find out next week.
Yeah, but no. I didn't say that. I said they're going to lose next week. That doesn't mean they're not good.
Well, I think they're not crownable.
We were only given 2 options.
We're just good or not good.
Yeah, that's why I'm
It's a
here.
new segment.
Third option.
Bengals versus Saints. Any thoughts before we
Oh,
hit
no
the mentions?
thoughts, man. I had the fucking Saints, and this looked perfect for 58 minutes, man. And that's the way gambling works. But the Bengals, the Eagles, man, it was funny. We were sitting up there, had them on the small TV. I had basically almost damn circled them with my green marker, and they end up losing that ball game. Reed and I were talking, or Kingston maybe somebody was like, "Are we panicking about the Bengals or something? Or are they bad?" I think somebody said, "Are the Bengals bad?" The thing that everybody's worried about with the Bengals is Joe Burrow getting going in the passing game. They got that done yesterday. I mean, they got going in the passing game. The thing they didn't do yesterday was stop the fucking run. I mean, the Saints ran all over these guys, and I was kind of putting it into perspective. Not to bring up another 2018 Eagles story, but these are instructive stories, man. We were bad for 10 games after our Super Bowl. We were 4-6 before we made the playoffs.
And it wasn't indicative of your roster.
No, it's indicative of the process that goes through grinding and the fatigue and the complacency by some guys and the replacement of parts. That's another thing. Usually Super Bowl teams don't overhaul their whole offensive line, so it's kind of unprecedented to compare them to another team with a Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah.
And the other thing about this team is, we've said this as well, they were a 10-7 team. They were not...
They just won big games.
They weren't a perennial world beater team. So maybe what we saw second half of last year for Cincy was a run. I don't think so. I think they're a good team, and I think they're going to be dangerous, and people aren't going to want to see them in December, but it might take some time. It was the same thing with the Eagles when we won in 17. We were not like some perennial powerhouse. We were a shooting star. And then in 18, we came back down to earth. So, which shooting stars don't do.
Joe Burrow, Lamar Chase jersey,
right?
It was cool.
So are they a shooting star or are they an asteroid?
Your little upstart shooting star team was 10-1 and 13-3.
Who?
The Eagles Super Bowl team.
I know, but nobody thought we were going to be good. Like, we weren't constructed to be perennially good.
Remember they're the underdogs
We were
making?
picked-
Yeah, I do.
Well, I know you guys like to poke holes in things that are
I
actually
love German
significant.
Shepherds.
We got our ass kicked by you
Hey,
guys.
he's the only one of us who doesn't have
you
German
guys had a great
Shepherds.
roster.
I didn't even bring that up. I think we might have been underdogs against you, player.
Yeah, you guys had a. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Ha-ha.
you guys had a great roster. Like,
Yeah.
you look at the match. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's like if we're playing the Bengals in my hypothetical football team that I play for. If I'm playing the Bengals, it's a matchup nightmare on
Here's
paper.
what you don't understand about shooting stars, because you're smart but sometimes dumb. The fucking shooting star, it burns hot and it goes fast. So being 10-1 doesn't disqualify you from being a
it's
shooting star.
Yeah.
So
Perfect analogy.
Thank you,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah.
60 seconds late, but thank you for the
Yeah, you're
compliment.
welcome.
It's a shooting star. It goes fast and then it burns out. It's the same thing with the Bengals. We hope not, but they could be that kind of team. And when you have a quarterback like Joe Burrow, the window can close and open, but it's not going to just perennially be open when you have to retool offensive linemen. You have the Super Bowl hangover, and you have a bunch of young guys that don't know how to win yet, bro. So
and don't know how to lose yet.
Yeah.
Either, because some guys that are just there went to the AFC Championship, went to the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Don't let
They
them
think
hang
that's
around.
That's just what happens.
Yeah.
Like when I went to the Chiefs, I
Goddamn,
won't
what,
name any
3
names.
minutes.
There's guys that think they're going to be there every year. You know.
All right, so we've got to get into our Miller Lite mentions.
Before mentions, we're going to talk some coaches, specifically what coaches you would want to hang out bottle service side. Which ones are you doing? So we're going to pick 5. You guys pick 5 coaches that we can take. You want to hang out with bottle service. Do a little bottle service action.
Well, that came up yesterday for reasons sort of unknown.
Bottle service.
Bottle service. So-
I've only had bottle service with one person my entire life.
me too.
You.
You.
On multiple
Club
occasions.
Space.
Yeah.
We went to Club Space.
I don't know what that is.
Quite a club.
I'm not sure we knew what it was.
Live too?
Live. We went to Live. He had glitter on his fucking face the next day.
Yeah, Rihanna was there.
He had
Do the
glit-
math.
Yeah, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
He had glitter on his face at the Miami Virginia game.
In a working capacity, yes.
He was up in the booth with glitter.
I
on
looked
his
up at a fellow coworker who said, "You have glitter all over your face right now."
Yeah,
I didn't have
dude,
time. I had to wake up and just get on the
It
bus.
was incredible.
Coach Groh made us stay about 3 hours away from
Here's
the
what I
stadium.
went. I went number 1. I went Dan Campbell. No, I went number 1 Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin would be a fucking great time. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Like Mike Tomlin would be the man in the club. He would have you acting like the most player version of you.
He'd have shades on in the club.
The most NFL player version of you would come out with Mike Tomlin. Okay, number 2 for me, Dan Campbell. He would split a bucket of beers. I oftentimes order a bucket of beers at a nightclub. You know, everybody else is speeding up. It's only 1 a.m. Like, I got to slow down. So a bucket of Miller Lights, Campbell. Number 3, I had McDaniel, but I think I'm actually going to put Arthur Smith in there after yesterday, dude.
nice.
So
Cool.
Arthur Smith.
It'll be his first time in the club.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. And then 4th, I don't want to forget anybody. Lovey Smith, because I need a guy
Great call.
that when I'm blacking out can be the voice of reason. You need a paternal figure in the club. Like Lovey would be like, "Hey, Chris, don't do that." You know,
Yeah.
like that. And I would listen, even in my most hollow-eyed state. And then 5, I'll go Mike Vrabel for the reasons of Dan Campbell, but he might start fights.
Kind of dangerous, both of those guys, same crew.
No, I don't want him in the same crew. I'm
Okay,
ranking.
okay.
You can't have more than one coach in the club.
Okay.
You went with a lot of football guys.
Yeah.
I can't stand football guys, just meatheads, just can't even get them out of their element. So I went with hot guys. I want hot guys with me in the club.
Hold on, we have the same list, don't we?
Maybe.
I had Arthur Smith, man.
I want hot guys who can talk to me about something other than football. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you might I say this name, you say hot. Well, to each his own. Okay. I'm going Kyle Shanahan. I'm going Nick Sirianni, that beautiful beard. I'm going Cliff Kingsbury. I'm going Sean McVay, and then I'm going Matty LaFleur.
Was that a rank of the hottest coaches in the NFL?
A little bit.
What?
A little bit.
You got...
They're all fit as a fiddle.
Where'd you have Cliff Kingsbury?
3?
Cliff Kingsbury was hot 15 years ago, dude.
Nah, Cliff's hot.
Cliff Kingsbury's living off 15 years
Save
ago.
it.
Cliff's
Save it.
hot.
I got it right here.
He's living off 15 years ago in that
Cliff's hot.
department.
He's got
has
that.
a nice
He's got
house.
good haircut.
Oh, he has a nice house, so you're definitely gonna get people to come with you
Right,
after the
right.
club. 'Cause
That's
they're like,
part
"We're
of
going
it."
to Cliff Kingsbury's
Those
house.
sunglasses, a nice taut face,
Him and Sirianni have gotten a combined 3 hours of sleep
a little. Hey,
in a week.
the bags under the eyes of Sirianni, they play,
Yeah, 'cause
especially
he's
in
so
Philly.
fucking. He's so incensed to win, dude.
And then
to
he's gonna-
not block Micah Parsons. He's up all night thinking about not blocking Micah Parsons.
And then he's like, "Hey, bottle of goose in the
Yeah,
club
yeah.
with MG. It's a
I like
party."
your list. I like your list.
Thank you.
Different lists.
Who's on
Yep.
your list?
I
It's
also
good to
have a
have
different
different
Oh,
lists.
good. We're gonna have every coach
I'm leading
in the league.
off with Brian Daboll, culture setter.
Oh, that's a great one.
He's a culture setter. You want him, and he's also
No, he's excited. He's excited
also
about
from Canada,
Is he really?
and Canadians are fun to party with.
And coach at Alabama, dude's a
Ron
Renaissance
Rivera,
man.
because he will call it like it is. I've got Cliff Kingsbury because he looks like he was an extra in The Hangover, and he probably has cigs.
He probably does have heaters.
Good call.
Lovey Smith,
What kind of cigs is Cliff Kingsbury?
Camel
smoking?
Crush, because he's
American
keeping in mind the
Spirits?
women, because some women like to menthol it up.
Yeah, it's true. Some men too.
Newports.
Guilty
If
as
men's are
charged.
smoking
Newports.
menthols, they're Newports.
They're Newports.
Lovey Smith. I almost played for him.
Yeah.
Also, some good stories in the club. That beard is also just plays well in the club.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, great exit plan if things go south. Also, a little family overlap there. His dad coached our dad.
Oh yeah. You can tell stories.
Got that going on?
So, like some of the fans, I mean, like number 2, Belichick. Trevor Renfro ranked Belichick number 2. Great conversationalist. This is from Twitter.
He doesn't.
I was like,
know,
what? McCarthy 5, so I can fight him. This guy is gonna invite McCarthy to club to live, and then just beat the shit out of him, just jump him. Him and the homies just jump him. So, somebody said 2. Liz Barnes said 2. Belichick, want to hear his stories about hanging with Saban. It's loud in the fucking club. You think Belichick is gonna carry a conversation with you? He doesn't even talk to reporters. He's contractually obligated to do that. He's not going to talk to you, Liz.
Part about Nick,
Right, exactly.
You
get another bottle of
there was
Grey
one
Goose.
year back, and he
No
walked into the
sparklers.
room, and
2.
when he came
Sparklers
into the
are a
room,
little
I said-
fucking much.
I said, Nick, what do you see out there?
Okay,
Nick-
let's get to mentions. I don't know what you're saying into your microphone.
That was Bill telling you a story.
Oh
about
my
Nick.
God, look at this. Look at this. This is from Devin McCourty.
They did it.
Yes, it's the Jim Brown statue. He stopped at the Jim Brown statue. And of course, Dev posted it to his story because he's kiss ass. He's just in case Bill's checking everybody's Instagram stories. Captain Dev's got to put it up on the story. I'm just joking.
Hey, his brother's doing NFL Network, right?
Oh, he's so good at it
Yeah,
too.
he's crushing
No,
it.
he's doing Good Morning Football.
Good Morning
he's
Football. He's
dominating
crushing
Good
it.
Morning Football.
I think they divorced their solo social accounts, didn't they? I think they're
Good for them.
They're their
Good to
own.
branch
that
out.
was really big. That
They're
was
their own McCourties.
Yeah,
now.
that was big.
Yeah.
Also, another divorce to talk about takes the heat off of Brady and Giselle.
Right.
Talking about the
Team player,
the twins.
McCourty. Ultimate team
I
player.
thought that was such a fucking cop out though. Who's saying it? I don't know. Could be either of the twins. Also, like, we get it, you're twins. Like, we get it. You look the same. You look the exact same. It's hard to differentiate you two, and you have the same account. This is you can hang your hat on this marketing strategy.
Great taste, less filling.
Okay, let's do it.
It's time for the Miller Lite mentions. Chris, your best plane ride.
It's got to go to probably
Gotta go to probably.
Kirk Cousins, probably. I mean, with the chains and everything, like I said, this is like a rite of passage. You're no longer a quarterback. You're a football player now.
He's going to the cookout.
Congratulations, New York Jets. Best plane ride. You're a good football team.
I've got the Jets for the best plane ride as well. Bringing home some souvenirs too.
Worst plane ride, Cow.
The Bucs, obviously.
That's a
Oh,
tough
I don't
one.
know if it's so obvious.
I think it's
Kyle.
obvious because as an offensive lineman, after getting chewed out on national television by my Hall of Fame quarterback, and then you got to fly home, and
Yeah.
the whole thing sucks. Awkward city.
Robbie Anderson? Did
That's
he
a
go
tough
home on
one.
the team
He
plane?
probably drove home.
How about the guy sitting next to Robbie Anderson? I might want to give worst plane ride out to the guy who sat next to Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson doesn't say shit. I guarantee it on planes. And after that game,
That's a
super
long one.
awkward. It's a long flight.
Y'all's planes go fast, but that's still a long one.
I'll give you the worst ride home. Poyer got hurt.
Yeah,
15 hours.
15-hour. I've never heard of that. 15-hour car ride because his ribs are fucked up.
Amazing. He's probably
That's
just getting home
wild.
right now.
I'll go Arizona Cardinals.
Probably watching MacGruber.
You're 2-4.
Can't laugh,
Laughing.
though. He can't laugh because his ribs are fucked up. They got a coach with him. He seems fine. He's watching MacGruber. Go ahead.
The Cards are 2-4, and you're playing on Thursday night. That's a tough scene.
Real tough scene. What's next?
Frank Gore Memorial Award.
Easy.
The player balling out in relative obscurity.
Matt Ryan, 58 throws, as you mentioned earlier. Guy threw his arm off the fucking AC joint there for what? Nobody was watching. For the AFC South is for what? They're still battling down there in the AFC South.
I'm going to go with that DC defense from Thursday night, all right?
Oh, yeah, Montez Sweat.
Listen to some of these names. Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, F.A. Obata, Jamin Davis, Rashad Wild Goose. Guy's name's Wild Goose.
Bro. I did stop the game.
Ben St. Juste, Cam Curl. This
St.
is a
Juste.
fun
Do you
little...
ever just stop the game and take a picture of something?
Yeah, dude.
And just have nothing to do with it? I got a picture of Wild Goose in my fucking phone. I have no idea what to do with it. Workshopping that.
Shout out to that defense.
My STL Memorial / Frank Gore Award will go to the New York Football Jets offensive line. Dwayne Brown, Laken Tomlinson, Connor McGovern, Herbig, last name Herbig.
That's right.
We've got Elijah Vera Tucker, guys who have been asked to step up in unique situations
From
this year.
guard to tackle,
Guard to
Elijah.
left tackle, left guard, right tackle. I mean, he plays everywhere, and he hasn't bitched about it. And I love that the Jets are coming together as an offensive line.
Fly on the wall. We've talked about it. Robbie Anderson. Just let's...
Oh, yeah.
Give me
What
the
was going
transcript.
on there? Because the coach was like, I wish you would punch me in the face.
Right.
Like, I wish you would.
Yeah.
Which is an odd... Like, the NFL's amazing. Like, I guess in baseball they do this. I guess in basketball they do this sometimes. But coaches and players just getting down and dirty. It's theater. It's great
They should
theater.
be able to fight.
And Robbie Anderson might have done that on purpose because he wants the fuck out of there. But did he ruin his trade value? People are like, he's
bit.
not trying to
Absolutely.
fight us.
A little bit.
That's why he's got to go somewhere like Green Bay where Rodgers can be like, listen, man.
He's good.
You don't fuck with a guy with a haircut like Aaron Rodgers, bro.
My fly on the wall is, well, actually, I'm going to call it the Fish in the River Award in Knoxville because the goalposts are now in their river.
good
I'd love to
call.
be a fish in that river.
Yeah, just swimming around.
See
that
all the
thing,
people
like,
run
what
up like,
is
holy
this,
shit, what
dude?
is happening? And then a big giant metal thing gets thrown in there.
Oh, another asshole of the week. The SEC fining Tennessee $100,000 for.
I love rules, though.
You love rules.
That's
rules are
wild.
rules.
Okay. Fly on the wall. Keenan Allen and Brandon Staley as they work that tweet out. The fan perspective. Did you hear this? He was tweeting from a fan perspective.
Strange.
It's really strange.
Good bud.
If you guys ever want to complain about me or just talk about how shitty I am as a boss, just do it from a fan perspective.
Yes.
Chris, from a fan perspective,
And Keenan Allen,
No way.
unlikely
I
to
could use
play
healthcare or
tonight
something, huh?
versus the Broncos.
What?
Unlikely to play.
Oh, Keenan Allen.
Unlikely.
Okay.
Yep.
Hollow Man, I'm going to go Kyle Larson in NASCAR. Is he your Hollow Man as well? Well, it was on the dock, and it was on the dock because of me. So I'll get
My Hollow Man was not that.
Okay.
So.
Kyle Larson said a racist thing last year famously on a video game channel. And then what does he do yesterday? He wrecks the only black dude, Bubba Wallace, in the entire racetrack. And then Bubba Wallace comes to
him.
throw hands. And Kyle Larson's like, I really can't do anything about this right now because if I fight back.
It was a tremendous Devontae Adams shove there on Kyle Larson. If that car
Look, he's
wasn't
just like-
there,
he's
if
like-
that cup car's not there, Kyle Larson's flying into the racetrack pretty much.
Kyle Larson's like, don't you remember the video game thing? Like, I literally can't. I can't fight you, bro.
Hey man, I got nothing for you.
I got nothing for you, man. So he's Hollow Man just for saying racist shit, and then on top of it, a year later having to get punked by Bubba
Hollow
Wallace.
Man, Gillikin, the Saints punter. Saints were up 26-24, 2 minutes to go. You have some hope. And then he fires off a 29-yarder, which gave the ball to the Bengals at their own 40. Next play, Burrow to chase 60 yards. Gumbel's call on this was Gillikin will want to get a good one off. Short. Horribly short, which is a pretty fun
good.
call for a punter. Superdome, screwing with punters. Last week we had Dixon forget the punt button and just run right into
Oh, that was one of the
defenders
funniest plays I've ever seen.
everywhere.
Hollow Man, the future Nashville stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
because it's a dome.
That's so good.
Bevel Conway, you're going Philly, Dallas, eh?
Bevel Conway, I'm going Philly, Dallas.
You know, I'm not gonna. I might leave it for you, Tennessee, Alabama. I'll stay in the SEC.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna go LSU and Florida in the swamp.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Looked great. Shout out.
Beautiful.
Hey, this is right there for the taking, but Richmond is screwing it up. Richmond and Villanova played a game of football. Could have been perfect.
TCU has red in their helmets.
Well, but that's for a reason. Like the Horned Frog draws blood or something.
Yeah, it's cool.
And their goal line is red, which is badass.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit much.
Stupid.
Those unis.
I'm going Tennessee Bama just for the scene.
Yeah,
I mean, like
for
you're
sure.
watching that scene. That's the scene of the year. That's the aerial shot of the
I
year
just
in
love the
college
crowd
football.
shots.
It's so fucking cool, man.
Nervous
I had
SEC
so much
women.
FOMO watching that. Nervous SEC women.
They're like,
yeah, they really care a lot. It's amazing.
I did all my makeup to come here and be nervous.
Okay.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
All game.
Well, yeah, no, and I don't want to cry.
Yeah, God
wanna-
forbid.
You
Yeah.
cry. The mascara's running everywhere. Okay, so that's. Do we have anything else? Game ball. Game ball.
Game ball. Yeah, I have a game ball somewhere in here.
Quentin Williams game ball.
Oh, nice.
It's a big coming out party for him, man. It's coming out party for the Jets. He has his big national coming out party the same day. People know now. Quentin Williams is a dog. He's got that dog in him.
I'm gonna give a game ball to Bubba Wallace for dumping Kyle Larson after he got squeezed on the top side.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. So Kyle Larson was passing a car on the low side, and when he cleared that car, he didn't give Bubba enough room on the top. Bubba couldn't make the turn. He got sandwiched into the wall.
Bubba dumped
so
him.
Bubba went whoosh at like
it.
160 and dumped everybody.
Give him the
which is
game
sick.
ball. We got a hollow man and a game ball in NASCAR.
Jalen Hurts, he's really good. We covered it.
Yeah.
We covered it well.
Yep.
But congrats to
President
those guys.
Hurts.
6-0. Yeah. Asshole of the week.
I already gave mine out.
Wink Martindale.
It's the
And assholes wink.
yeah.
I don't want to use the word again, but hey, Al Michaels, can we be a little bit nicer to Kirk? We can tell you don't like Kirk on Thursday nights. Be a little bit nicer to the guy.
Oh yeah.
Cut him a little slack.
Yeah. Well, he's also up after midnight, watching like
Really
objectively terrible,
really
football.
bad games.
I forgot to say, Troy Aikman never mentioned Pat passing his all-time touchdown.
Patrick.
God, I hate you.
Take care. Welcome to the club.
Troy
Take
never
care.
mentioned it. Troy never
Take care.
mentioned it to
Take
Patrick,
care.
which is crazy
Welcome to the club.
on the broadcast.
Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.